not pivoting the way of Klinks. And I was expecting that by now he'd have pulled ahead, but Yawar is doing a very good job of not letting his brother get to him.
And the brotherly agreement?
Well, I think the only agreement there is war.
Yeah,
yes.
no, it's very competitive,
I'm
obviously.
sure. I'm sure. I've got a brother, man. You always want to one-up each other. Look at the stack. I can't believe they didn't block that.
That's quite the hefty
stack.
stack.
Crit to do this?
Well, they're going to have to fight over that for sure.
Oh, yeah, but, you know.
And they can perhaps pull the wave on into that as well.
Oh.
Look at that. First time the Tiny gets space to roam.
MSS playing a little close there with all those Skelly men hitting them.
Yeah. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You can't actually, like, you need to keep that tri lane pressure up. Because you can't afford to let that Tiny roam on your mid lane. And that's going to definitely be the OD's lane saved now.
I mean, not that I needed more selling on this hero, but Tiny really has been proven to be such a good support. That toss specifically, and again, seeing how Forward Gaming's using it like so many others, just simply as that toss over and over and over again. In this case with that trial lane and getting these initial kills. So, and now he's finding himself in the top lane. Like he's been in every single lane so far. He's going to use the Iron Shell to farm even.
Clever. You can do this with Ricky and stuff as well.
What service? What a good teammate,
get
right?
the experience
Just like, here you go.
Give him the gold. Win-win.
We're satisfied with that. All right.
I was going to say something about that, but now I'm unsure. Oh yeah, the Tiny.
So you can take a moment because we're going to have a Murdering a Fly go on while you're trying to recall. There's a good stomp coming through here now. Crit forced back. I think Reza probably just wants to go and farm, although it gets us a nice bash. But we'll just go right back to
now he has it leveled up.
Now he does, indeed.
Yeah, so forcible displacement is what I was getting at.
Yes.
One of the strongest mechanics in the game. And
oh, the epicenter getting used over here in mid on Yawar. He's going to try to hide himself in the trees. This Sand King taking a decent amount of damage, but I think they'll still be able to find
be
this
careful,
He gets to kill, though.
That was a bit of a miscue from S4, sending way too close to the Astral Imprisonment. Went back in.
He needed to give vision, though. Otherwise, they do not get the last hit there.
Top tower is under attack.
So, yeah. For that, but at the same time, they also needed to get a rotation down there.
To go back with what you were saying, though, Kips, about, you know, forcing different moves. One of the reasons why, you know, Force Staff is so absolutely valuable, and also one of the reasons why Vengeful Spirit, you know, will get picked up, because it's one of the few heroes that can actually change your placement. So it's very, very value. Everything. Yeah, Glimpse, X marks the spot on the Kunkka.
And I'm one of those people who thinks that Pudge will always be powerful because he has the most true displacement spell in the game. Because it does not require the opponent to have been in a place previously, like Glimpse or X marks. It does not put Pudge himself in the danger zone, and you do not have to go in yourself.
Oh, they jump over here onto Reza. He's going to be able to time walk out, just narrowly missing that stomp.
That's 4 heroes down the bot lane, and he just leaps out.
Choosing not to Nightmare there to set up the Echo Stomp. It could have been a potential, but maybe the safer play. But S4, he's still in the area.
Yeah, this is not a great place for you right now. S4 does use that Sandstorm. He's going to try to just use it efficiently. Fly going to help him farm up a bit.
Yeah, Sand King's been feeling good about rotating. He hit level 8 in that laning phase, and we saw him go mid. Obviously, now again, he died as a result of getting that kill, but even finding himself at the bottom lane. But assume he's going to go back to farming now.
He's making a lot of space, though, at the same time. You know, they're constantly thinking about, you know, where's the Sand King? Did get that gank off over on the mid lane, like we said. And it's just being very active, and I like that. I like how active S4 is as an off-laner when given these types of heroes.
Well, he might have to get active again soon because the wave is pushing in on the mid lane, and Fly and S4 are lurking. His smoke broke.
Is that a second Observer Ward right there? You know, what's the duration of the other? No, they're similar.
No, they just want the vision. They want to make sure that they can see things on the side. And I do have the epicenter up and running again over on S4, so this is looking like a potentially good setup here. Nightmare coming out. Nice avalanche being thrown out by Tiny. Turn their attention again over onto the Darkseer. We'll be able to go connect with the Burrow Strike. It's going to be the time dilation. Toss comes out, though. They've got their eyes on Fly. They'll take him down, and they're actually going to run this Darkseer back. And it's looking like Tiny might be in for some trouble. There's a lot of damage coming out from this Luna, but they actually can't finish it up, and they lose the Luna themselves. Now there's going to be the Surging coming out here for Resolution. He's just going to chase down S4. Does get a nice bash, and he uses the Chrono just for good measure.
He could have picked
Bounty
up
rune.
Bounty rune.
Bounty rune.
And the bounty rune. Oh
Runes.
my god. GG.
Resolution, great player. Not so much right there. No. It was
4.5 out of 5.
Four, yeah,
for 4.5 out
never
of
give him the
exactly.
5
Never
stars,
give
according to
perfection.
Frankie.
That's why we do that right there, man. No, but that was he leveled up Chronosphere mid-fight because he hit level 6 after his first or second kill, I think it was, and then that's why that Chronosphere came out eventually too. So, yeah, great job by him as well as a team effort. And again, trying to kill the Darkseer initially, that's going to be a tough kill.
Yeah,
always.
no matter what. And Smell was actually a little bit late on rotating in there because you could see that he was, you know, he came into the fight, he was ready to connect for the follow-up, but by the time that his damage was really needed, he just wasn't there yet. So he's going to be threatening the bot lane here now. And I would be surprised if I'd see any more attempts on resolution. They saw he could get out now. And Universe actually coming in here as well.
Maybe just looking to push the wave, or
It's almost like they're baiting. There's been so much action down here that they probably just assume they're going to try again. With the Clinks was down there as well, but he's instead going elsewhere. Building that medallion as you'd expect. Sand King queuing out the Blink next now. He had the put a Defiance queued out for a bit there, but changing his mind, figuring he needs to get the initiation.
well, he is kind of the main source of initiation coming up from the side of EG. Like, you know, maybe you can get a cheeky, you know, Echo Stomp or, you know, use the Nightmare and whatnot. But definitely, they need that big grand entrance sort of thing to make everybody scramble, make a little chaos. And they do know that he's over here. They're trying to bait, maybe.
Again, it's
No one give it away?
Darkseer though. You got to be really confident.
Yes. And I think that Universe was also... Universe? Why am I saying Universe? Losing my train of thought there.
Well, Universe on Darkseer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was going for something else. Please ignore. Okay, I'm interested to see, by the way, that we're going back to, after not seeing Helm of the Dominators for a long time, back straight into Helm of the Dominators. We've seen nothing but on Darkseer.
Yeah, it's too good on him. I think it's just with the Iron Shield value. Running at people, farming with it, and you see right here, surging up the Centaur.
Being a little cheeky here when it's flying. We'll just burn down his creep instead.
Or will he? Thing's tanky,
oh,
man.
wow. Yeah, 60 hit points. Fly?
I think that's worth a brain sap. Come on.
He's trying.
Nope.
He's going to deny
he's
to the
denied
tower.
the tower. All right.
Smart.
Nice play there.
And he kept him busy, too.
He's got an Alpha Wolf right there he could take. Not going to yet. I saw Mask of Madness just purchased by Faceless Void. He's on top of the net worth chart with his OD partner, so safe to say Forward Gaming in a very good spot. And yeah, look at that, OD, you are going the Midas. And Drum's just finished.
He just finished up the Blink Dagger on the Sand King. That's going to be a big deal here. Looking forward to seeing what they decide to plan with this.
Well,
they dusted? They toss the the Lich maybe? Get the goo goo eyes going? I guess not. Guess not.
You could tell he was trying, but
Yeah, I think this may be a little bit too far away. Chronosphere going to get used in the mid lane though, and they find a kill onto Fly. Echo Stomp going to put everybody else into a little nap state.
not the most value Chrono ever, but it's going to push mid tower out of this.
Not sure if they could take it. And I think the rotation where they lost Arteezy before was very costly for EG. Because you want to rotate that Luna into the jungle, really get her farming those stacks that you hopefully made before. But instead she's got a Mask of Madness. She's working her way towards the Dragonlance right now, but this is not the speed you want to have. And they have nobody to really create space for her right now.
I'm just saying, get out of my jungle. I don't appreciate you being here. Can't obviously get that kill just yet unless he's got the lockdown. They did have the Fiend Script, so I'm not sure if they were thinking about possibly using it on the Darkseer.
Yeah, Clinks is supposed to be that though, right? I mean, that, again, speaking of the Space Creator using that term, but it's Sumail has his medallion now, and I don't want to say he hasn't been trying. I mean, we've seen it a couple of times, but unfortunately just hasn't come through yet. And this is, again, we saw Clinks the previous game, completely different circumstances and teams and everything, but did underperformed in that one as well. So at least as of right now, Clinks has not been the most impressive.
You know, I'm guessing that they're estimating their chances here and they're saying, all right, as long as Forward doesn't push these towers too fast, the Luna is actually going to catch up and outfarm. So they're not feeling the hurry to do things just yet. but she does have to, like, I keep coming back to this, that she's not really a solo core now with because of the Klink's pickup, but it is still worrisome that he is trailing behind and he is the one who has to, you know, go toe-to-toe with a OD.
There was an SVG there, but
and the Faceless Void.
He's out. He is out. Little tower gonna put some damage on. There's gonna be Fly TPing in. This is a little bit scary, I think, but
again, it's fine. It's a Bane. Are you gonna dive a Bane? If it goes wrong, you're putting yourself up for the possibility of a real counter engagement. So forward, just, you know, take the tower very calmly.
Well, they don't mind seeing TPs there too, because you look at top lane, Faceless Void, he's pushing the tier 2 tower, and so knows that at least a couple of people can't TP up here now, from what he got information on. And he's going to feel very comfortable doing so. In fact, S4 is wrapping around the mid. EG is really trying to force a fight in this middle lane, use that Blink Dagger. But they're not able to get it. Forward Gaming is just doing the better job at reacting right now.
They keep dodging it pretty hard too. They at this point they know that he's got it because he's been showing up in lanes and whatnot. So I think they get the D ward over here.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Tier 1 mid trade for a tier 2 top, not great.
Yeah, look at them trying to like sweep through the woods over here on the side, figuring that there'd be some sort of setup. Tower gets taken though in the mid lane. They've also lost the tier 2 top though. Rezo's just having a lot of space and is able to hit quite a bit here. In fact, charging after Arteezy is going to be able to quite close that gap. There's a lot of people here though. Fly turning back around. We'll find multiple people. The toss up coming out from Tiny. Then they'll follow up with the Echo Stomp.
Yeah, they chose not to take the Nightmare off him. A little risky, but he is fine, and he's going in.
Still going, yeah. He wants to find this opening couple match. The Avalanche coming through. Brain Sap will buy him again a little bit more time to jump forward. Coming out from the Sand King, they'll be able to go. They put out the Earth Splitter, and they're actually going to be able to take down Fly very, very quickly. They'll find Crit as well, and they're going to find S4. But there's the Chronosphere. This is exactly what Rezo was waiting for. This is his moment. We'll be able to maybe get that. Yeah, there it is. Final hit coming through. SVG pulling him in over here, giving them the Google eyes. They'll find the kill on Sumail.
EG choosing to fight on the stairs there into the high ground. That was them, I suppose, saying we feel like we have the stronger team set up and everything, but you don't. I mean, you have a Chronosphere, Chain Frost, OD Hammer, like, and then obviously on top of the Darkseer vacuum wall that really set that all up. That was a odd decision from EG in terms of choosing to fight there, because they definitely could have kept running.
When they were still up on the high ground with the entire group, and, you know, baiting out with Fly, I think one of the bigger problems there for them was that Crit actually threw out his Stomp.
Yeah.
And then for not really any return, and that's on cooldown for quite a bit. Faceless Void could go in and basically set up that team fight without being worried for too much of a follow-up. By the time they were fully engaged, there was, well, the OD save coming in great. And it's going to be so hard actually for EG to pump out all of that physical damage that they have from the Luna, from the Klinks, into a lineup with this many saves.
I feel like Arteezy has yet to take a good fight here in a lot of these engagements. It's going to be very detrimental. Do you think he just kind of just hangs out back in the jungle now and just chills for a bit? I
thought that's what he was going to do in general.
Yeah. Again, if it wasn't evident before, you would figure for EG now, it's they realize they cannot just engage head on. They need that Luna to go beast mode here when it comes to her farm. And so yeah, definitely spend some time getting set items. She was working on the BKB at least next, which is a start.
What are heroes here though? Are they engaging up to...
They're looking at...
He's getting guarded.
Yeah, they'll use the Nightmare. They'll follow up with the Echo Stomp. Oh, they've got the Fiend's Grip as well. And they'll just take him down with that. Epicenter still chasing over here. SVG might be able to actually get out. He gets surged up. Nice spot. Fuck you, coming out. And there's going to be the Avalanche, though, turning back around. Crit in for some trouble. He's going to get taken down here. Fly is very, very slowed down by that wall from earlier. They'll actually just go, search up the OD, put in the Astral Imprisonment, and wait very patiently on the other side. The toss comes up, and Brainstab keeps Fly alive just a little longer, but MSS will eventually get himself that kill.
That's more like it, though. That's a great trade. You get the Void kill, you keep all of their heroes busy while your Luna is farming. And...
oh, no, SVG.
Sometimes you get a little bonus kill on top.
Yeah, that's more like it for Klinks. That's what he likes, of course, free kill.
And this 1-by-1 style is way more what EG needs to be going for.
Nothing like a bounty rune with a side of dead hero.
Lynch is already dead though.
Extra dead. Super dead.
But you know when you like your fries extra crispy or something
Exactly.
like that?
Like extra supersize it, you know, extra dead, super dead.
Okay, I can get behind it.
Kona.
And yeah, as soon as Arteezy gets this time to farm, he actually just rockets up there. Nobody who can keep pace with the Luna, especially not someone who has been getting these stacks. He had quite a bit of them, especially at the start.
Yeah, they've been taking care of the jungle for Luna pretty well, occasionally finding different stacks here and there. And then stacking just for himself as well.
Yeah, so even though the score looks pretty dreadful, EG is gonna know this as well. They are the kings of coming back in games like this, the kings of farming their way out of situations like this. They probably know that this score doesn't mean anything as towards, you know, their net worth. Their ability to fight, though, is still compromised, obviously, because of the way that these lineups work, the amount of saves on forward, and the general, well, fragility of their own heroes as well.
I do think the BKB is a great answer this game, though, right now for Luna, and she's going to have it here just in a couple seconds. And I say that because really a ton of damage it's going to be blocking. You still get caught in the Chronosphere, sure, but you see all the follow-up damage, you know, from Odie and the hammer being laid down. It's things like that. In fact, speaking of Odie, he's in trouble. He's going to die here. Phoenix Grip on top of the Echo Stomp, and no chance to react for Yawar. So going a little bit blind. Mid lane, meanwhile, Luna's caught, though. And I think Forward might be overall pleased with that.
Yep. I was about to say that's very uncharacteristic of him to just blindly walk up the high ground, but he didn't want to go up the high ground. He wanted to do the pincer movement and meet, you know, what he thought was going to be the protection that was coming in for the Luna from the back. He was going to meet those people, and instead they just focus him down.
S4 just a little bit too tricky here. Not going to be able to find that kill. SVG, though, despite having that Frost Shield, not going to be enough to save him.
The damage of that Clean Shield is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, if you can keep them near it, it can definitely do some decent damage. So there. See the Orchid and works. Bloodthorn eventually down the line. He's got level 15 talent there, the Searing Arrow damage. 4 Clinks as well. Pipe choice for Sand King. This side in this game, and kind of goes back to why the BKB is going to be so good on Luna. You know, tons of magic damage actually surrounding this Faceless Void, and the pure damage thrown in there.
Just look at this whole area, just nicely stacked up, being able to clear out these camps. Gonna give Arteezy good infusion of gold, and seems fairly safe too.
They've been doing a good job guarding it with wards as well, and it's relatively hard for the Radiant to invade over here. Especially since I imagine they're going to be keeping tabs on Roche now. And because Forward is running out of towers. They have 2 more outer towers to take. One of the next goals is going to be Roche and then high ground. Smil went back for a hand of Midas.
He got that fairly early,
Yeah, he got that early.
Yeah.
Didn't see it.
Yep.
Using it to fire after the medallion, I think. Actually, he might have even cut it before the medallion. Either way, it's had that the Orchid again, just around the line now, corner now even.
Yeah, so really that pick-off style. And one thing that they're going to have to do if they want to run that is really split up on the map and force different engagements. They're going to have to throw heroes at the problem from time to time.
What do you think about Arteezy joining in on this gank here instead of just continuously farming? Thoughts?
Both other times that he came out of his cave, it didn't exactly end well for him.
So you're not liking it.
I mean...
Clinks, he's dead.
Yeah, there he is.
There's only plus 20 gold you get from those? Jeez. That's probably good.
Like, I guess in this case he's saved because his teammate died for it.
Yep.
No, but this is good if you just, you know, need the presence on this side of the map to be able to fight. And they probably had information that indicated that at least 1 or multiple heroes were bottom, so if you bring 3 on the smoke top, you're going to be able to fight. In that case, like, there's not much risk in him going up there. A lot
They know that they know S4 is there. They've got the dust. There's going to be the toss, followed up with the Frost Shield. Nice Burrow Striker away though. S4 trying to run himself back. We'll get the vacuum off, and they're going to go ahead and use the Sinister Gaze. In comes Yawar. He says, "Very nice. I will be taking that kill."
A Chrono, that's missed. Chrono? It looks like. Or did he kill somebody? No, he didn't kill anybody with it.
They're about to kill someone right now though.
And look at that, good old Roshan.
Chrono's down, but that's going to open up Roche for them.
So that's going to be an Aegis now on Faceless Void. Who do you give this to, Kips? Faceless or the OD?
I Hard to say. I think Faceless is a way better carrier for it, just because when, you know, OD dies, his stacks are gone.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do there? Get new stacks, I suppose, but Faceless is extremely irritating to deal with again.
Well, that sheepstick coming through over here will be able to go to the wall vacuum. They'll go and they'll drop the Sanity's Eclipse. On the back end, though, Sumail, he's just chipping through everyone, but he can't finish up with that Astral Imprisonment, the BKB getting used over here on Rezo. They're just going to reset.
I mean, I guess it wasn't a complete disaster, to be fair, but man, EG is really feeling confident about taking fights, and it's almost head-scratching because Chrono was down, but you still had Eclipse, you still had Darkseer Vacuum Wall, and we saw both of those come out in succession, so there's just so many big ultimates here on the Radiant side that it's hard to manage around all of them.
This was a very understandable decision, though, because they wanted to wait until the Elder Titan was back up, and you can see that Forward has now completely backed off from the pit again, because they don't actually want to be dealing with that stomp. So EG is going to use that a little gap in the action to see if they can find themselves either a pick off or no, they're not going to go for that straight up, or no. Just waiting for Sumail to join.
They might be able to find themselves a Tiny over here in the woods.
Chain Frost is up. Chrono's probably off cooldown soon.
Look how close they are. They're right in the vicinity now. Sentry on sentry.
It's so close. You know it's coming. Again, that Chrono, it's 10 more seconds for Faceless.
EG, you have to be so careful. They're fighting up into a choke point, like you said, too. Like,
so far, it's been working out somewhat here.
there's a smoke. Surge.
Kind of feel like it's coming, though.
Yeah,
They're baiting out easy, it feels like. If they get the BKB off on him before the Chrono pops, he's going to survive.
They do have the ward over there to keep tabs.
But they can't see him.
How are they so close?
Okay, the drag up, they find S4. It's going to be the push over. Immediately, the Chronosphere comes out over onto 3 different units. And Rezo just wailing away over here onto Fly. Not going to be able to quite finish him off. There's going to be the Eclipse coming out, though, from the Luna. And there's going to be the Epicenter as he's thrown in Seer, too. SVG is going to get taken down. The Chain Frost gets a couple bounces, but again, they have that BKB up and running over on Arteezy. There's going to be the re-engagement, though, coming out from the Tiny. The toss-up over onto S4. It's going to be able to burrow strike himself down to the low ground. And EG hasn't lost anyone. The Tiny actually buying back during all that. Fly says, chill out, man. You need to take a couple moments. But Rezo, he's back up. He's going to turn... Oh, there's going to be the Eclipse. Sorry, the Astral Imprisonment coming out again. And are they going to be able to burn him down? It's looking pretty good. They find that kill on Rezo. They get the stop off, too, over here onto the OD. Oh, man. In comes Luna. RTZ just going to chip him down as fast as he can. And it's actually not going to get the last hit as he's placed into the Astral Imprisonment.
That's a value play, I think, there. So EG...
Oh, no, we're not done yet. MSS gets a kill on Sumail.
As a good way to at least get something out of that entire engagement. What was that? 3 smokes, several wards,
oh my gosh, yes.
several sentries, and a whole heck of a lot of confusion. I think that S4 there is probably the worst person you can vacuum up the cliff, just because he can just go out again. And
in fact, he did.
Yeah.
The chaotic fight is what won in that fight for EG. That's how they need to play these fights. So obviously great execution on their part there. And what I mean by that, it's you had Faceless Void, S4 doing his thing in the back lines with the Epicenter and everything after he re-engaged. But the Faceless Void, as big of a Chronosphere was hitting 3 heroes, including Luna, there was 0 follow-up damage because they were busy being distracted by the Sand King in the back lines. And again,
an amazing stomp from Crit on 3 people in the back line, which is why you saw no OD right clicks come out throughout that Chronosphere at all.
It's really interesting, too, the fact that they've got a couple saves. Like, you've got the save on EG with the Nightmare, right, if you want to kind of, like, just buy a little bit more time for someone. But also the OD with the Astral Imprisonment has been so valuable, especially when you're dealing with, you know, something like a Clinks, right? Because Clinks wants to use that strafe, wants to put out as much damage as quickly as possible. But when you're in the Astral Imprisonment for your teammate or whatnot, you just can't do anything. It just immediately interrupts and you have to reset.
We have a Solar Crest finish for Clinks, the Orchid. And we saw the value of that last fight. It's what really helped kill the Faceless Void in the end.
Tiny's on the prowl.
Found Fly. Again, Roshan's still up after all of this. Regen most of his life, just about there. But I could see Forward Gaming waiting for everything to be ready, and it looks like it is. And yeah, obviously they would probably like some kind of pick first. I mean, Bane's dead, but only 15 more seconds.
And he's got the buyback as well.
It's so risky to fight into that pit without any sort of a pick-off, especially when you have, you know, the Elder Titan obviously is a very popular choice for dealing with that, but...
I like that item on crit as well.
The halberd?
Yes. So, you know, who cares about resolution being in his chrono when, the Elder Titan is going to be sitting so far back. If you actually want to target the ET with your chrono to take him out of the fight, you're going to have to go straight through all of EG.
Right.
So that's really not feasible. So in most cases, he's going to be able to get that halberd off and just disarm resolution. Or in case he gets the right positioning, he could also disarm BOD. No damage for you. Because the last time we saw Rezo hitting people in the chrono, he himself was not dealing that much damage.
Right. A lot of it's coming out from the OD, right?
Yes.
Being able to just start stacking up. And
Yor has a hex.
yeah, we saw that last fight, I believe.
It's a lot of it in the end comes down on who's going to get the jump on who first again. Who's going to get baited, because I do believe that EG still needs to bait out that fight. They can't go first.
And we do get the Blink Dagger picked up now over on the Darkseer, so that'll be even better for positioning.
Yeah, the net worth even favoring EG slightly, albeit call it basically even at this
Pretty
point.
minimal.
I mean, you even see the lead, and the graph looks like it's, you know, been a decent lead for 4. It's only 4K. I mean, it's nothing to up there. This really, as you'd expect with these two teams especially, it's going to be a matter of, you know, who wins that next big team fight, right? And it could be anyone. It's just a matter of that positioning and who gets the better initiation. The fact that we haven't even seen the first Roshan yet, though, at 32 minutes in, and again, we were potentially seeing it, but then it got stopped eventually. It's pretty crazy on top of that.
Yeah, so both teams have the requirements to do it. There's a Solar Crest on Sumail, and then over on the other side, they've had the Vlads up for a long time. Both teams can do it, but neither team feels comfortable.
BKB for OD coming. Got 3,200 gold saved up on him. Just Sanity's Eclipse multiplier now at level 20. And you see Luna also doing level 20, 8 to all stats. Not the sexiest talent, but does work.
Love the way that you phrase that.
I mean, yeah,
it's kind of boring, but
very utilitarian, right? Yeah. It's not you see it and you think, ooh, give me that. Give me those +8 stats.
Maybe
baby.
some people really like stats.
Weren't you the one that? Weren't you the one?
No, king shaming.
I'm so sorry.
Somebody the other day was saying that they missed the stats.
I missed
and that
the
was,
stats.
Yeah, that was you.
I missed the
You're
stats.
You're a stats fan.
I missed
so that's a sexy
Warlock
talent for
mid.
you, Moxie.
Warlock mid and putting points and stats in my Shadow Ward and just running circles around the Shadow Fiend.
And are we going to see the same kind of standoff here? Look at this smoke from EG. Are they going to try the same thing again?
I don't know. I mean, they're about to find themselves an OD if they play their cards right. But look at the positioning coming out from both sides here. It's almost like they suspect something. There is a BKB picked up though now.
Well, it doesn't have it yet. It's being delivered. So yeah, we'll have it now.
Now he does. Fly.
I don't think Rezo realizes it.
Oh, there's a jump forward. Burrow Strike. All up with that Echo Stomp, just in case they committed real hard on it, but Rezo's still taking a little bit of a nap there in the mid lane.
And then both sides just back off and go back to farming.
Yeah, it's a tense game. We've hit that spot of both teams are very aware that it could change very quickly.
And this is the moment for Rezo to go in here. As soon as you know that they're backing off towards bot lane, that's the most distance you're going to get. So all of these hits he's getting in here right now are basically free. And that's going to be half damage on Roche already. Mid lane getting bursted down. Crit needs to deal with this first.
Oh, and they're not going to allow it. Look at that stomp.
No, that looked fun.
Good vacuum. Good vacuum.
That into the Centaur. That's another reason why Home of the Dominator, we've seen that kind of good Darkseer players like Universe, of course, will take full advantage of that Centaur. Vacuum into the AoE stun.
They've got to know. Yeah, you can see them already making their way over there. You know, you've got an Elder Titan. Just throw in the Spirit. Keep tabs on them. Of course, you have to be careful with the Tiny. And again, we have Blink Daggers on the...
That was a bit of an unlucky bash forward.
Okay, Vacuum coming through into the wall again. They want to re-engage. There's a Chronosphere on the back end, though. They're going to be able to go and take down Arteezy. He is a non-factor. The buyback coming out immediately. And we do see these little skeleton men. They're doing a lot of damage over here, but Sumail, he's actually going to get taken down. Roche just wants to be a part of the fight here. There's going to be the Earth Splitter getting dropped in the middle of everything. A nice Echo Stomp coming through. There's going to be the Roche. It's going to get over to Crit. Fly trying to run himself back. It looks like he's not going to be able to do it. And this Chain Frost is doing quite a number over here. Plus the fact that they have the Sheep Stick, of course. We'll go ahead and they'll pop that Aegis. In comes Luna, though. RTZ's got that Eclipse. He's going to try to chase them back, but they've got the Force Step, and they're just so fast right now with that Surge on top of everything else. Oh, Luna might be in for a little bit of trouble. Crit still looking for this opening. We'll try to get the Echo Stomp off. We'll find it over onto Tiny. Tiny taking a bit of a nap. In comes S4, thinking maybe we'll get that Burrow Strike in. Avalanche will connect, though. Toss up into the air. And I don't think he was quite expecting that. He's all surged up, though. That is one fast rolling rock right now, but not fast enough because there's going to be the jump out by S4. Sheepstick getting used as well as the Astral Imprisonment. RTZ trying to be very, very patient over here. We'll be able to land that Lucent Beam, and they finally get that kill.
I don't know what to make it. I mean, the Aegis is now taken away. It was a buyback on Luna, so that's of course the biggest thing of the fight, and that's where you would have to favor forward gaming ultimately. But considering how it started, where a pick on a Luna and the Roshan almost being dead at the beginning of that, I think EG can be at least somewhat satisfied with the outcome there.
I'll take your tribute.
And the threat of the Roshan is now gone, so at least EG, who have been showing consistently that they think they can take this game later and outfarm, are going to have a lot more space now. They don't have to guard that pit anymore. It's going to be quite a while before the big man's up again. So you're going to be seeing them divide the map again, just like this.
They just picked up a BKB on the Elder Titan. I would like to just mention
We've
that.
been seeing...
Who was that the other day that went like second item practically?
Yeah, I don't... If it was Z-Free or somebody, it might have been SA actually. But I was actually going to bring up, I've actually seen multiple Elder Titans doing this position for. Yeah, and the level 20 talent as well. That 70 attack speed, it basically allows him to just be a massive right-click threat in your face, because remember, his level 4 natural order means when he himself, it's that minus 100% base armor.
All right, well, so everybody say goodbye, Fly.
Goodbye, Fly.
And following up, though, you have S4 jumping through, and they use the BKB on Rezo, and he's not going to be able to get away. There's too much damage coming out from the Clinks. The rest of the side of Forward Gaming going to have to run themselves backwards here. RTZ trying to join into the song, too. I don't think they're going to be able to quite catch anyone just yet, although they're slowing down a bit. Yeah, look at this. They go right back into the base. They don't want anything to do. Oh, the Sheep Stick coming out, though, over onto S4. He's a little piggy toss back coming out as well, and there's going to be that wall getting dropped to the back end. They're trying to fight themselves out, and it's going to be the Echo Stomp. We'll be able to find the kill over onto Samael. The rest of the team now, VG trying to run away. You are looking for that opening. Nice jump over coming out from S4. We'll be able to save him there. Might be in for some trouble now. They also have the dust. There's going to be a toss back up. Oh, it clips right onto Crit at the last second. That natural order coming through. BKB is going to have to be used defensively as he's going to TP himself out. Fly, not out of the woods just yet, but he is going to be leaving in a body bag.
He must have a lot of stacks right now. 56.
Look at RTZ. He's trying frantically to get out there. How much longer on that BKB? Gonna be able to get away. I'm thinking he's gonna be in the light. Ah, there's the vacuum coming through. Ion Shell surged up. Little Darks here. We'll be able to land the Lucent Beam, but the Avalanche will connect as well. RTZ trying to hide himself around the corner, and he's in the woods with a lot of very unfriendly faces.
Just don't even look. Just walk away.
Cool guys don't look at explosions, guys.
Darks here. Come on.
Lost in the woods, Arya.
That's 4 heroes dead. No buyback, including Luna, the big one.
RTZ didn't have a DP scroll while he popped his BKB there.
And they do that without Faceless. I was actually going to wonder if Faceless Foe was buying back right there, because he had a buyback the whole time, maybe TP to the Shrine and go for a big chrono, but clearly they did not need him. It was OD running all over them, and it started with a toss on a Clinks initially to get him killed off the bat, and then they just kind of plowed from there.
Yeah, Samael went in way too hard after that kill. I think he forgot about the tiny toss back again, but forcible displacement, man, you can't underestimate it. You're going to places you've never been before, and you're not going to like them.
Yeah, the Astral Imprisonment, speaking of that, you kind of go to, who knows where you go with that.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy. I'm not sure what happens in a different dimension, but nobody seems to be
nobody wants to go there.
Yeah,
no one's saying, please send me there.
Almost level 25 on OD, and again, that 60 more seconds duration of the Arcane and Steel.
This OD has been doing so much work.
Dire's middle tower.
Really, really nice combo. Whoa, the jump forward over here. Rezo sees what he wants, and boy, is he going to go and grab it right now.
That's his level 20 talent right there. 500 time walk cast range.
I think just falling apart from EG here. I think it just always fascinates me how in a game like Dota, one moment of impulsiveness can just upend an entire game. Because EG has been playing decently well. They've made some mistakes. They've also recovered from them really well. I really like that weird standoff thing we had around Roche. And
The peekaboo.
yeah, you know, they finally get their lucky pick-off, and sadly they push their luck just a little bit too far, and suddenly you're defending high ground.
The heck?
Casual Cardi.
Almost looked like a huge rock.
Yeah, that was a catapult just getting tossed into the base for good measure.
Raining catapults. The end of days is coming.
Yes, and now you're gonna lose a lot of map control on
Dire's
EG.
bottom shrine is under
Which
attack.
is for a lineup that we said again, that if you can get that pick off, like they got on Rezo before, that's the way you'd ideally want to take these fights and snowball from there. But if you can't split up the map right,
Dire's bottom
then
tower
it's getting
is under
that
attack.
much harder to get the pick off.
Look at Rezo. He's just hitting so hard.
Dire's
He's gonna have that
bottom
Scotty
tower
online
is
fairly
falling.
soon.
I would actually really like to see an Ags on him, honestly. I think that item is almost undervalued. We've seen it like a couple of times we've had the Faceless Void, but
I don't think he needs it though.
he doesn't need it, but it's a case of he's not necessarily needed to be this big damage dealer either. I mean, I have Scotty isn't even an item that helps with that necessarily either. Your OD is the one that's dishing out all the damage we talked about. It sets up things like the freezing or the chain frost, and you know, having that 60-second cooldown for the Chronosphere, basically guaranteeing it'll be up every single fight you engage. I'm gonna wait for this long cooldown.
It just feels too
Beneficial.
utility to me. I think on a position 1 Faceless Void, I would much rather, unless you've been struggling
But
really, really
he is
badly.
not the position 1 though this game.
Yeah,
I guess, yeah, when you put it that way.
Arcane Orb helps. He is going in MKB though, and there's a butterfly on Luna, so that's of course a good answer.
What is that courier? It's a little
I
sea
think I-
turtle? Oh
Yeah, that's
my god.
that's a Korean courier. I actually have that one.
Dire's
It's so
top
cute.
shrine
All right,
is
sorry.
under attack.
Back
Has
to
like
Dota.
25 levels with all kinds of particles. I'll show you after the game.
All right, looks like this is going to be a very dead Elder Titan, although there's the BKB getting used here over by the OD. He has to run himself back as the BKB is also being used. Nice Chronosphere, though, coming out from Rezo. He's got his own BKB up and running. Arteezy, he's trying to do anything that he can, but he can't really get in there. Just trying to fight here with this Faceless Void. He's just running her down right now. Nice Echo Stomp will slow them down just a little bit. Time Dilation coming through, does have that Eclipse. He's trying to put as much damage down, and I think they're going to be able to find. No, he's going to be able to walk out at the last second, and they turn their attention now. Going to be able to take down Cret, and they're still going to town over here, and that's a very dead S4.
Yeah, even if they kill the Faceless there, it's probably the same result, but yeah, that's just got to be salt in the wounds right there.
That last second just
deuces. Time walk.
Yep.
Double buyback. Luna just got her buyback, so she does have one, so the game's not 100% over yet.
they don't have anything big though. They don't have anything big to really like throw at them. They can't stop them from hitting these
Neither
buildings
can
right now.
forward.
But they have so much more damage, it feels. And they also have, you know, the lockdown. There's the sheep stick coming out again from UR. And the jump forward coming out from S4. Getting pulled right back. And this could be a dieback for him if he's not careful. In fact, it's getting real close on it. Burrow Strike comes through. Time Dilation. Rezo, he's looking for that opening. He's just so speedy right now. Just very, very mobile. Especially when you consider the fact that you have that surge. And he just jumps in right again. He's looking over here at Cret. Needs to be a bit careful because the Fiend Grip's going to come out. Is he going to be able to run out? No, he's going to get taken down. You are still tearing around, trying to just get as much of this into as possible. He's going to try to get himself away. And he needs to be surged up like yesterday. Does look like he's going to be able to make it out though. And the rest of forward is just slowly walking. Oh boy, SVG.
Okay, so
This is the slowest chase ever. Do you have MSS standing nearby though? Might be able to get the avalanche off, buy them a bit more time. And again, here comes the OD. There's the Hex coming out. They try to take down a beautiful vacuum wall combo here. Fly trying to get himself away. They will end up losing Crit. And the silence over here on the OD, this is looking a bit scary right now. There's too much damage coming out. They'll take him down. Followed up with the avalanche. They will find a kill over onto Fly. Sumail still looking for this opening. Not going to be able to get those hits off. Nightmare going to get thrown over here. Arteezy just going to go right back to hitting the creep wave.
Darkseer's been doing work. Universe, again, he's obviously we know he's so good on this hero throughout time, but man, it seems like every time it's a 3 or 4 man vacuum wall. It just makes it look so easy. And EG, again, staying in it, they at least do enough to hang on into this game and give themselves a fighting chance 45 minutes in, but it is going to be that 14,000 net worth lead now, one of the biggest we've seen. Clinks, he's finding a friend.
It's a very hopeful shrining here, SVG.
Well, he took off the silence, so now he doesn't get the damage amp from the Orchid either, and he is fine.
And nice Lotus Orb there to purge. Speaking of Darkseer, he actually gets a Crimson Guard now. It's going to mitigate plenty of damage actually from the Clinks as well. And okay, he gets the parallel wall. This is an ability or the talent that I've seen picked up a couple times where it's it's hard to use it very effectively, it seems like. So I'm really intrigued to see how Universe uses it here.
The potential for some really awesome plays, for sure.
Honestly, I would have liked to see a BKB pickup on the Clinks, just because every single fight I see him getting removed, getting hexed, getting stunned or gazed to death, and I think he could have done a lot more of that big damage output if he... Oh, DD for Rezo.
Oh, he doesn't grab Arteezy though. He's making his lucky stars with strike coming through. They'll be able to get that vacuum. A BKB coming out from Luna. She's got that Eclipse. Rezo though, he still really wants to get the skill over onto Luna. Is gonna have to run himself away though. Is separated from the rest of his team. And I think you just reset after that. If he had gotten that Chronosphere on her.
Yeah, that was probably GG if so, but
SVG, hello? I guess he's trying to bait maybe a little bit. Those are the parallel walls coming through. Again, the slow coming through. They've got their eyes over here onto S4. He's going to be turned into a sheep. They take him out. He's no longer a threat. Look at Clinks just fighting himself over here.
That wasn't a vacuum wall, but that was actually a great wall nonetheless because it just completely zoned them out. They had no chance of responding to their teammate dying.
It's a ramp, basically. It's literally putting sides on the ramp. You have to...
the other wall's not doing... That's what I'm talking about with the parallel wall. It's so hard to use effectively for both of them. But
it was just a little bit over more, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
But that secures some of the Roche here because there's no S4 to cause problems. Again, you do have the Elder Titan, but you don't have the Lunar Eclipse. Your big team fight is just not there to contest. They're going to have to give this up. Oh, especially if this happens here. Again, beautiful vacuum. They drop the hammer. Oh, Arteezy trying to find himself out. He did just pick up that Satanic, and he's doing a decent job here. Still chasing down over here after Rezo. BKB is off, though. Can they find anything else? All right, jumping forward against Resolution. The toss back over onto Luna into the Avalanche here. The Arteezy's in so much trouble. The BKB is going to come out. They go and they use the Greaves. He's just trying to fight through her, and they will finally take down Luna. And they're going to turn their attention to Crit over here. Rezo just trying to man-fight him. It's fairly tanky. He's taking so much damage, though. They'll find that double kill. They'll also find the kill over onto Sumail. Fly, fighting to the last breath, but will get taken down. That's a team wipe. And the G gets called. Forward Gaming, taking game number 1.
Yeah, that was an impressive play from them. And again, their lineup, you see MSF having some extra fun there at the end, of course. As they should be. I mean, it's just a game, though, with that in mind. It's a 1-0 lead, however, for Forward Gaming. But yeah, that team fight was so impressive. I go back to Darkseer specifically. Vacuum wall combos were just completely on point throughout the game. And they played very well as a team, so props to them.
Yeah, their synergy looked really well throughout the entire time. You know, really nice placement. Did have like a couple, just had that one chrono, right? That was so close to catching Arteezy, but wasn't quite there. But in the end, it didn't matter because eventually he got tossed right back in anyway.
No, not at all. I think that's the only time I saw a team fight spell really whiff from them. And it's also, that was the only time they really went in when the OD wasn't there to follow up on the Faceless Void. So they just reset after that and they take the game anyway. I do want to say, though, that Crit walking in there, trying to be that carry, like a couple of times I thought he could actually pull it off. And that was very impressive. I love seeing these late game Elder Titans just going toe-to-toe with the big carries. Like, you thought you had armor? No, you don't.
Yeah, that was looking pretty dire for like half a second there. But we are going to take a look at the brackets up on for NA.
Nice clean brackets. I like it. Forward is up 1-0 as we mentioned. Flying Penguins versus J-Storm. That's going to be the later match. Of course, qualifying spots for each of those winners there, and they'll be playing in the major. And you lose, you bounce down to the lower bracket. I'm not 100% sure who would play who down there. If it would be the loser of this playing Complexity or Team, but either way, it's going to be a tough challenge, of course, and then ultimately one of those teams from the lower side will move on as well.
I cannot wait for the winners of this will end up being playing Team, I believe is what is being whispered into
the loser of it. Okay,
yeah, loser.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
The winner of this will be playing at the major.
Against many other teams.
Got my words a little bit backwards there, but really looking forward to seeing the Flying Penguins game later. I'm pretty.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fun.
Pretty hyped for that. But we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more EG versus Forward Gaming.
touch me now. I'm just flying by. Yeah, I'm just flying by away from them, and no one can see me now. I'm miles above you, don't care what they're seeing below, 'cause I'm miles above. I'm miles above you. Miles above you.
Came together nicely, and again, the team foul was just seemed almost impossible at a point for EG to overcome it. Again, we were kind of talking off stream there at the end of it about the Sand King pick specifically, with the S4 playing it in. He played it very well, but Sand King as a hero right now, his impact in later on in the game does feel a bit weaker than other off-lane position heroes that you'd usually see. I think they picked up Sand King specifically to win, or not even win, but do very well in the lane, you know, with a hero like Doom or being banned against the Darkseer in that case. So, and he did, but again, his impact, unfortunately, just wasn't able to be the strongest. So we'll see how the draft changes up here in game 2.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see EG possibly come back into this. We'll get a full 3-game series, because that's always, you know, the most hype. But it might just be that Forward is able to clinch it out in just 2 games. So
that's very possible. Yeah, no, this is, again, EG is I don't want to say, you know, obviously they're coming off a third-place finish at the major.
Right.
Yet again, it happens to be a spot that they're very comfortable with, but there is the meme about it. But it's still third place at a major. I mean, that's a very big deal. This is definitely one of the best teams in the world, especially in NA, of course. But they are coming off a lost series to Flying Penguins, again, just yesterday. And these NA qualifiers, who knows what can happen. That's why I like to watch them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's always fun to go into different regions, see what the different picks are. And then also just see, like, this, we were talking about, you know, the way that's been reworked now that we actually, when we're doing qualifiers, we get to cast teams like EG, OG, Liquid, Secret.
I love it. Thank God for the format this year, yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
It gives us more Dota, more chances to see these top-tier teams play and see them kind of figure out, again, we have a new patch. We have a new patch, and I think a lot of teams are still figuring out, you know, do we stick with comfort picks and, you know, wait for the other people to figure out the patch? You and I had a whole conversation about that in the cab. Or do you start experimenting? Do you take that leap? Do you find the next big thing?
Secret's not afraid to experiment.
No, they're definitely not. I love it. I love it. It's much more interesting Dota, I think, when you see some eclectic drafts,
But you gotta have the confidence to do that, right? And I think here, you know, you're saying this is a team that's coming off a third-place finish, but at the same time, that also means not just might it give you a little bit of overconfidence in terms of what you're up against, like, all right, this is just, you know, the local crowd. But you know what? The local crowd knows you the best. They're not going to be intimidated. They're not going to have this problem where, you know, oh, we're up against EG and we don't quite know their flavor because we haven't played them for that long, you know? So I think that you shouldn't underestimate how much damage a region matchup can do to you, even as a top team. And I'm speaking from experience here as someone who was first coaching TNC when they got the only other SCA team at the, I believe that was the Bucharest major.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm not exactly sure anymore, but things like that happen, and you can be top 3 in the world if you got a local team that's not afraid of you. And they know what you're doing, then you can just get kicked down right here.
I think that a great example of that is more so just the scene that I see that the most is China. There's just so much good competition in China, but specifically within China region competing against one another, you'll see a bit of upsets. You know, you'll see, with these regional or the qualifiers that we just had, we had, of course, a couple of teams not moving on, Vici Gaming being the big one, but when they're playing against these teams constantly, they know them best. And maybe it isn't the most surprising.
All right,
so the Sven first.
Yeah, we've got the
that one was not the greatest shove. You're going to have to fish that lich out of the river a bit.
Almost made it. There we go.
So we get the Sven pickup for Forward Gaming. We've got a Lich and a Tiny pickup coming out from the side of Evil Geniuses, which I do like. But the Tiny especially has been a very value hero for a lot of these teams, being able to, you know, do these initiations, being able to do the toss backs. Especially, you know, we noticed that over on Forward Gaming during the laning phase. You just got a little bit too close to that tower. He's going to immediately punish your positioning and change it up on you.
Yes, so I guess it's Grit's time now to show that off. And Forward move on with the Phoenix. I've seen them draft this a lot in combination with, for example, Juggernaut. So with Jugger, of course, also being like a bit of a block pick there, but it's out right now, so they're going to have to find another carry to combine with that. And I'll let's see. Why
I have this
why
backwards.
Do I have the Lich
yeah,
back?
we have this backwards. This is on the. They're on the Radiant.
I gave you this
You're all
Lich.
fired.
5 seconds.
Yeah, so we're over
listen,
here.
listen here. I hear you good at the pinch.
Okay.
And here, Dire Phoenix, safe lane for now.
And Sven's over
Sven.
here. No, Sven's over here. And there's a perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
Tiny.
Kip's got that. I'm just gonna sit down.
Sure. I'm always happy to move around.
We get that Phoenix pickup. They're going to need someone who's going to be able to hit this egg. Right? And we talked about, you know, the Jug being a good option, but Jug apparently is already taken out, so that's not going to be something that they can grab. What would you prefer to see here, Gibbs?
5 seconds remaining.
Terrorblade's very good at it. I like morphling it to Phoenix as well, just because you can decide if you're going to fight it or if you're just going to straight up move on out. Luna gets taken down by EG.
Troll's another usual option.
Yeah, extremely good at it as well. Those sorts of heroes. And of course, you can also, and I keep coming back to this, and you don't like the hero, but Silencer is extremely good against Phoenix.
I hate that hero. I hate him so much.
I know you do. I know you do.
10 seconds.
But sometimes, you know, you got to get over your personal feelings for a hero in order to acknowledge that, you know, it would be really very good
Oh, I
here.
can acknowledge that it's good. I still hate the hero.
Yeah,
You know how much pain it caused me yesterday to be like, oh yeah, this Warlock's actually going to do pretty good here.
Oh, yes, I was also on the train of this Warlock is questionable.
Yeah,
No, like, it was clearly good.
it
It's
worked.
just, I don't like the hero, but
Yeah.
clearly good. So Silencer as well there. Plus, great lane harass coming out of that. Of course, Silencer is not a support hero with disables at all. It's not someone who's going to be able to clear your waves at all. So, and besides EG, I don't think they could still run a tiny core, obviously. I think they've done that on pretty much all of their core players except for Arteezy. But right now we're seeing it in the support role the most.
Yeah, I think I prefer to still see it as a 4, just because of the potential that he can use, you know, especially during the laning phase and later on just becoming larger, becoming a really big threat. Again, we saw Moose do quite the jab over in South America with the Tiny, because not only was he a threat like during the lane, but the second that he was off the map, the rest of the team was like, we don't know where he is. He's been a big problem for us. He's accelerated. We have to make sure that we play, you know, a bit more cautious.
5
So
seconds
I would like to
remaining.
see it stay as a position for the time being. Obviously, you know, I'm not a pro player. I'm not your mom. If you want to play that Tiny as a, you know, position 2 or whatever, go for it.
They banned Brewmaster. I'm almost now. This is a bit of a stretch, but they do have a Sven. We have seen a core Sven. Somebody was running it earlier today. I brought that up. It was NIP. It was NIP on their way to qualifying. Ace was playing it, and they had an. Did they have an Omni Knight with that? They had a Luna. They had a support Luna with that. But the idea of the Omni Knight also comes to mind. And again, when you look at a Brewmaster ban, as I'm even not being able to purge a Heavenly Grace, still with the Guardian's Angel and being able to take him out of the 5 for 6 seconds in it as well as something to think about at least. So, got a friend?
I was like, where's my other friend?
Evil geniuses
I had one
turn
friend. I
to
need the
pick.
other one.
EG bans the Phantom Lancer, so are they looking for a Terrorblade pick here then? That would be weird to ban the Luna though.
What was that?
It's Meme League, okay? Leave me alone. I'm having fun. We're watching Dota. I'm with my friends. I got pigs. This is everything I've ever wanted.
this is good, yes.
Dire team pick.
Arc Warden.
Arc Warden. All right. All right.
Also very good at hitting the egg.
It's an Arteezy specialty too.
Yes.
He's a very comfortable Arc Warden player. Good hitting the egg. So you think that's why they really picked this up? Because to me, whenever I see an Arc Warden, I feel like it's usually in more of a reaction to, like, again, that Terrorblade matchup, or it's like a 4th or 5th pick, especially of, okay, Arc Warden's going to be really good this game. But you're picking Arc Warden 3rd with only 2 on the other side, and that's where I'm a little skeptical, I guess.
Are you that concerned? Like, I don't know. I feel like you don't want to be super obsessed with the egg. Obviously, like you've got to have a bigger plan, a bigger picture here.
Yeah, of course. But you also want to have a solid matchup. And I think the bans show that they did really want to go for that Arc Warden. Because I was thinking, the PL, but Terrorblade's not really... You won't ban Luna into that. This makes a lot more sense. So no faster acceleration from the Luna and no PL, which crosses the distance into that bubble really well. And Nature's Prophet, I think partially a reaction to deal with the immense amount of side lane pressure that's going to come out from this Arc Warden, as well as being a very good pick overall in that it doesn't give a lot away still. You can run it in pretty much any role as well.
We do not know. I do not know where it's going to be because part of me, maybe I'm just sticking on it too much, but I do think a core Sven is possible here. Good in getting on top of that bubble of Arc Warden. Not concerned about it more so than, say a ranged core would be especially. But getting kited by the Lich though can definitely be an issue. Are you looking at me to pick something up? Yes, Tidehunter.
I mean, it's
your favorite.
It's the Watermelon Man.
Yes.
Tidehunter. I mean, that's the cool thing about Nature's that he usually plays in the offlane, but he's been doing a bang-up job, if I recall correctly, by just moving it around, using it as position 5. I think he had more farm than like some of his cores at one point.
Oh yeah, but by the late game, I mean, this hero, you have him position 5 or position 1, he will be up there with the best of them when it comes to his farm.
The Tidehunter, though, too, we've also seen Nisha, right? Playing this hero and absolutely wrecking face with it.
Core Tide.
Speaking of heroes threatening in the late game.
That kind of gives Tide another depth, too, as far as being a hero pick in terms of you could see him mid. I mean, you don't know if that's going to be a mid Tide Hunter or an off lane. Like, you'd assume much more of an off lane, but mid is...
Yes, especially if you can get a favorable 1v1, but I presume the forward's going to pick something up that's going to make that very hard. There we go.
There it is.
You do not fight the bear with the watermelon. He's gonna.
Oh no, Ursa should be over here actually.
No, I saw something here that looked like an Ursa. I went for it, but that's Ogre Magi. No, Ogre. You can.
Yes,
stay
we may
here
need
for
to get
now.
you some glasses if you think Ogre Magi looks like Ursa.
Look at it from here. Look at it from here. Do you see that?
No.
You see those like the?
I see
It's
it.
got the teeth. Yeah,
And
I
he's
can
got
see,
the same
I can see the
posture?
teeth.
5 seconds.
We'll say yes because we love you.
I'm disappointed in you, Moxie. You could have backed me
It's
up. there
fine.
and you didn't.
Everyone's disappointed
She
in me.
just
I'm
dropped
used
me.
to it.
So the hopes and dreams of being a Course fan is definitely not a thing anymore.
He just moving on. I love it. Love it.
Ursa is on that logic, though. Ursa is, again, he doesn't care about the bubble of Arc Warden. And I think that's what they're really going to aim for. That's why I go back to this earlier Arc Warden pick. You have one of the better Arc Warden players in the world, no doubt, but
Dire team banned.
it allows Forward Gaming to think it out now and get a hero, both in the Nature's Prophet, as you're stressing and reacting to the split push. Now Ursa getting on top of the Arc Warden, eventually get the Basher and especially the Abyssal Blade. Good luck getting away from him. So how do we finish things off now? Timbersaw ban from EG. So it's going to be EG having the last pick overall. Forward
10
first.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds
And we're going to have to
remaining.
either see dual lanes or some sort of musical lanes coming out from EG because you bet that Tide Hunter is going to be followed around by the bear.
He's trapped. Save you, piggy. There we go. I got him.
The savior of pigs.
There you go. New nickname. New nickname.
Dire
Look, he's so
team
excited. He's so happy. He's
How
like,
can you-
thank you for saving me.
How can you focus on anything else? EG versus Forward
I'm trying
Gaming.
to think.
No, we got pigs.
Like I got giggling there. I got giggling in my in-ear.
All right. There's the OD pick up here. So, Sven.
For Forward.
Yeah, and the Pugna ban as well.
He
So
doesn't
that is
gonna be our
belong
OD.
there.
all right. Fine, I'll get up.
I kind of want to make him piggybacking
Arching
on
down the
Redcon,
middle lane.
It's
honestly.
not too great.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that's the, yeah, didn't you guys hear? That's the new Lunar New Year mode. You know,
5
we used to
seconds
have the new
remaining.
bloom with the monster. Instead, it's just going to be a giant pig walking down mid.
Oh, I thought it was a new
Floating
hero.
down.
Why not? Why not? A pig hero.
All right, so
Okay,
Odie,
we're
we've
gonna
seen
stop this.
we've seen Dazzle counter picks in the past. We have seen the Klink counter pick. Didn't work great for EG last game. What do we have again? We also have the Razor left still. I doubt you want to go with the Razor Arc Warden lineup. So this is a pretty tough one for EG.
Yeah, they might have drafted themselves a little bit into a corner here.
Pugna unavailable.
I mean, they could still go with something like, I mean, depending on where they're running the Arc Warden, they could go with something like a Troll, right? Can try to throw that in there. That's still available,
there's
I
the
believe.
Okay.
Choose your
We'll go
hero.
with the Puck, okay.
Now, we've seen Pucks run away with this mid matchup. We've also seen a Puck completely fall behind after getting ganked once and not coming back into the lane at all.
Not our TZ puck, though.
Is it gonna be
I think
Arteezy?
it's Sumail.
Or not our T,
Would
I'm
be
sorry,
Sumail.
Sumail puck.
Remember the days of S4 Puck? Those are the glory days.
Yeah, no, he occasionally still plays it every once in a while, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely would be the Sumail puck here, you'd assume.
And if this guy orbs aggressively, there could be a Nature's Prophet on his face literally anytime. Depending on where the hero is going to go. They could still be running, like... It could be support Sven, could be support Nature's Prophet.
I think
That's
you want to
still
run
up
a
in the air as
core
well.
Natures here because of the impact it's going to have against Arc Warden, and now especially with the puck, getting an Orchid is going to be important to stop that puck, so...
All right, so who are we liking? What are we liking? Are we forward gamers or are we EGers?
I greatly enjoy this Ursa pickup. I think it's very good. The Tide Hunter is going to have a very rough time finding a lane where he belongs, and EJ is going to have to spend so much time protecting this Arc Warden. I'm going with forward here.
Okay. I think I really I'm excited to see the Ursa pickup, actually. I want to see, you know, how this works out, just because he did get a bunch of buffs, so I'm going to go with forward this time. And what about you, Mr. CPK? Savior of pigs.
Thank you. I'm going to go forward. I do like the Ursa. I think the Arc Warden was a little too early. It gave Forward Gaming plenty of time to respond, and they did, and it's not going to be the easiest game for RTZ.
All right. And production doesn't get to make it.
Darn.
No points.
I'm pretty sure I know what they would want. They went forward?
All four for forward? What?
Wow. Wow, that's the first time, I think.
No, we
Disrespect
the Navi
to
game.
EG.
Exactly. We clean swept on the Navi taking it once.
That is true. That is true. So yeah, again, it's going to be the Sumail puck. We're going to have S4 on that Tide Hunter there. And then SVG actually on the Sven.
Okay, yeah.
So
we do get a core Rezo Ursa Bear here.
He wants to hug people.
That's all he wants. Why won't they let him hug him? For the Cubs.
Yeah, he got that move speed buff just like all these other melee heroes, of course. And I personally haven't seen a lot of Ursa just yet. Outside of, there's that one game with the Into the Weaver.
I haven't seen him core. I've seen like some Ursa support.
Yeah, even the support talk has happened. Oh, that's right. It was the Alliance gamer. Oh, God. Now I just got depressed again.
Oh, dear.
Anyways.
It's okay. It's all right, Break. It's going to be okay. So Universe going to be in the offlane then on the Nature's Prophet. And again.
With me.
The battle
and I imagine that he's
begins.
going to be blocking the wave here.
I had such a brain fart there because I'm so used to, like, I remembered the days of Universe on EG. And I was like, oh, yeah, so again, if the puck orbs, I was like, wait a minute, no, they're on the same team. And I was like, no, they're not.
Yeah, he...
Bible thump.
I remember when that happened, when he was announced being removed from the team, and that was a
shock.
That was a bit
That's
shocking.
a big shock.
That's when Sumail went off lane, because that totally made sense. Yeah, that was weird.
I thought it did, though. I
I
really
did.
like and especially Sumail coming out of being an offlaner has been, I feel, much more of an active player again. And they have been able to switch RTZ back to, you know, more true carry heroes than before, where, you know, it was always the Sumail show. So
So you think it was like a check in terms of Sumail, and so you ultimately think it was for the better?
yeah, I
that he
think it
actually
was
got that
good for his
experience.
development as a player, yes.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed his Beastmaster just completely taking over games, because Beastmaster...
Did have a couple of those.
All right, so brother versus brother, mid lane. We've seen pucks do exceptionally well here, but again, we've also seen, you know, you are in a matchup where, you know, you thought that Sumail should be dominating. Bottom lane, though, Rezo having to limp himself out. It's a lot of damage. They actually throw down that Spark Wraith. It's going to land over on MSS. Not quite the intended target here, but I'm sure they're happy with the fact that they forced out his regen so early on the side of Rezo.
Yeah, Phoenix right there, really just making sure that it didn't go to Ursa, if anything.
Yeah, being a bro.
Yeah, taking it for himself, but that's okay. We got Try versus Try. This is clearly going to be a heavy action lane.
This is always the heaviest of action
Yeah.
lanes. Trying to think who's got the better... I feel like still, like, the team with the Tiny, just because you can just change around any sort of bad placement. Again, they have a Phoenix, but Icarus Dive has such a high cooldown. So you're
Yeah.
not going to be going for him anyways, right?
And Spark Wraiths are very good. I mean, in terms of this lane, we see him spamming it quite often. Both his bubble as well as Flux, for that matter, not going to be very useful, though, in the lane. So the Spark Wraiths doing some good damage, but that's going to be the only ability that Arc Warden will bring to the table when it comes to assisting for potential kills.
I think this is insanely good news for EG, by the way, because they don't have the Ursa up against the Tide Hunter now. Tide gets to actually farm against the Nature's Prophet. Look at how many lost hit step man has.
It's true.
He's
Holy
going to get to
crap.
farm up these treants as well. This is, as far as these 1v1 offlaner matchups go.
Is that, I guess, there's not much Universe can do about that? Because, yeah, he has to be feeding him treants at this rate,
Yes.
right? So that seems odd to me that he's able to get so many. Jeez.
I mean, it's rough as a Nature's Prophet. You're not used to not being able to use your treants that much at all, but
Yeah.
the Tide Hunter is just going to smack him down. Look at the harassment coming out for crit as well.
This is not... I think you still switch this up. What do you think, Kips? Like, because he's not getting any farm down here. This Ursa's 6-1. Oh, the toss back. Not quite close enough to everyone else here, but we'll be able to go. Landestorm Hammond, the Spark Wraith being thrown up. Rezo looking for a couple more of these swipes here. Is a very speedy bear, but does get slowed down a little bit by that Flux. The rest of his team, they're all sitting just so low.
I think the biggest thing with this is
Radiant structures
EG's side was a lot better at level 1. Their level 1 abilities do so much more than the level 1s of Forward Gaming. Specifically that Ursa, you know, he doesn't, he wants to hit the passive. Now he has Overpower at least to help. I thought he might have just gone Shockwave, to be honest, because of how active this lane is, but Urshock, but he decides not to. But yeah, going back to the point, I think it's a lot more of that. As the levels start adding up, 2, 3, I would think that the Dire team could compete a bit more and maybe start changing, so that's why they're committing to it, I suppose.
S4's just munching up all these little trees. This is probably Tidehunter's dream. I mean, right? Tidehunter's always that's his lines, right? He's so hungry he could eat a legion of nature's prophets trees, and luckily they're being Uber eated to him. So easy.
You know a lot of these lines.
What do you mean?
Like a lot of the lines that the heroes say.
Oh yeah, I love them.
Quote those quite a bit.
I love them. I don't get to listen to them quite as much anymore because you know, I usually keep them turned off because I'm casting. But like back when I was playing Dota, like I actually practiced like watermelon.
Yep.
Yeah, in comes Rezo. He's gonna try to get some of these stacks up here. The Tidehunter though, the trees will come out.
Literally no damage.
Literally.
That's crazy.
He's a level 5
Tidehunter from that
Tidehunter.
Anchor Smash is just ridiculous.
He's a level 5
9
Tidehunter too.
Fury swipes. There's nobody else that would survive that. And it didn't even seem to bother him.
Bottom lane, Sven's in for some trouble here. We'll try to turn around. There's a lot of damage being put out by this Arc Warden. And finally, we're going to get the first blood.
Yeah, I mean, they knew Ursa was missing, so talk about capitalizing on that. EG using information to their finest, and yeah, they are much cleaner here in game 2 so far as I guess, you know, I take that back. I don't think it was they weren't clean, but yeah, all 4 bounty runes are going to go their way too. But this start just in general is just going very good for them.
So this should be a very dead fly here. Just throughout the Frost Blast, doesn't have any mana left. And the burn coming out from the Phoenix Spirits should be able to take him down. That's going to be a kill for MSS.
Meanwhile, though, Sumail has been doing what we, well, kind of expect out of this Puck versus OD matchup, which is completely bullying the OD. There is now the Sven rotation as well, though. Is this going to have the same effect? Oh, he held.
Got the phase shift back up. Yeah, the cooldown on that. I was wondering if it's going to be off cooldown in time, and it was.
Word on word action over here, though.
Nearly went down still, though, with the damage coming in from the Nature's Prophet ultimate. Very well timed there, but sadly just not quite enough from Universe.
I mean, this is a player that just... He knows Puck so well, right? He knows a lot of these heroes. Like, he's going to be able to test the limits, stretch them out just a little bit, get everything timed properly, so... I'm sure he expected that they would have some sort of a gank on him, but Crit over here, making this rotation over to Rezo. Will be able to go, land that avalanche, toss right back again. And the rotation coming out from Arteezy. Oh, I don't think he expected that. It's a kill for S4. And that's a kill for MSS.
That Anchor Smash is hurting him.
Yes. He was under-leveled there. Like, I think if you get an Ursa a good start versus Tidehunter, that is not fun for the Tidehunter. But the other way around goes the same as well. Tidehunter is very good against these melee heroes, and he was already a level up back when Ursa came into the lane.
I think they should have set it up where he was originally against the Tidehunter. I think that would have made a big difference because the level difference too, right? When he goes up there, so the Tidehunter was like level 5 at the time when he first made the rotation. And I think because they also ran that tri-lane bottom and he wasn't getting much, he was a bit behind.
And he's going to have to do a lot of catching up still. The Ursa is only level 4, and at least Universe is doing some real heavy lifting here right now.
That's what I was going to say. The one benefit that Forward got out of this, and maybe why they did commit to doing it, is that Universe is level 6. He got a very early level 6. They're going to expect him to be active and pushing towers, and that's exactly what they're doing here in the mid lane. You know, can Sumail and Fly really stop this with just them two? I don't think so. Tide is running over though, so that's a different story.
I think that's the nice thing too about having a Tidehunter is it does put that early game pressure, right? If you try to go for any sort of a tower, you have to be very careful about your placement because you don't want to get ravaged. And then on the flip side of things, if they decided that, you know, they wanted to get a little frisky, start going for those towers early, they have to be very aware that, you know, Tidehunter will be lurking somewhere and can potentially, you know, change it all around if they just commit too hard on being the initiators. So
I'm wondering what, well, Universe's next step is going to be now, because he is going to be the one who directs the game for Forward for now.
They know he's
hiding in the trees.
They pinged it out, didn't they?
Well, they saw him somewhere in the area, I think, but
Alright.
yeah, good hiding.
Just cheekily gonna throw that out.
He's gonna say, tag, I'm over here, and they're gonna try to follow him, but wasting time. Courier.
Oh no!
Not enough damage. Well, they know he's still there.
Portal, no! Alright,
Be careful.
alright.
Yeah, SVG, I don't think you're getting that. They're careful.
Yeah, S4, defender of Tortle over there. Top lane, though, do get TP coming out here because they don't want to have to deal with all of these tree babies. Bottom lane, though, again, still have the Sven hanging out. Just going to be annoying. Have them chase him a little bit.
Ursa came in, I believe, or no, he's just farming right there.
Yeah, he doesn't want to have to. He's like,
Deal
hey,
with any of
SVG, what you doing?
On your own.
Please don't bring this evil over here. I need to hit these creeps. Thanks.
Dang it, you did it anyway.
Yeah. Thanks for nothing.
How is he going to feed his cubs now? Dreamcoil actually does get used in the top lane, though. MSS going to get taken down. What level is that Puck? Right? Or not Puck, sorry. What level is the Phoenix? Sitting at 5. Okay, just a little over.
At least has the phase boots finished on Ursa. Yeah, it's got Yawar there with the tranquil boots picked up, and that's something. Hold that thought, because Crit is going to be surrounded by the Sprout. You have Sven running in as well. Stormhammer lined up. Even Phoenix showing up, throwing out some fire spirits, and Universe Wrath of Nature gets that kill. It's a good rotation there. But yeah, to the Tranquil on OD, we were seeing a lot of Tranquil OD builds just after 7.20, and it went away a little bit, I feel like, but Yawar still likes it, gives that move speed, and they caught us 4.
It's a pretty difficult hero to take down, though.
Yeah, almost with the Eclipse, but not enough.
Don't use a tanky or a melon. You can't pop that so easily.
Easy? Has his eyes over here on SVG. We'll pop the War Crying. Comes Smail. We'll use the Dream Coil. Waning Rift coming through. Need to be careful because the OD's coming in. We'll be able to go hold him in place, save him. Breath of Nature doing a big chunk of damage. Oh, look at this Universe. He's bounced Smail. It's not going to be able to quite grab him fast enough, though.
Not often you see both cores like that on the other side kind of just ganking together several times now. At least they both get out, though.
Well,
there's the Midas.
Their mid lane is currently occupied. So, yeah, they're going to have to be doing some of that space making. And now EG is moving towards top lane, even with the Tidehunter as well.
All smoked up. S4 taking a little bit of a detour here. Alternate route. Maybe trying to do some pincering. Just gotta be careful. There is MSS nearby, all right? They're gonna go ahead and initiate over here. There's gonna be the TP coming in out from Universe. And it looks like Sven not very long for life here. There's gonna be the egg. They're just gonna focus it back here on the other end. Just one more hit. We'll be able to take him down. There's the Ravage that we talked about this. So D is gonna get held into place. Flyas gets himself a triple kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, great patience right there. That wraparound from S4 is beautiful, and also spotting the shrine in case somebody was TPing in to get that information. But as we saw, not the case. Ursa just wants to pick up farm elsewhere, but now Ursa, he's going to be run down. The Dream Coil wasn't even used that last fight. They used it to get resolution instead, and Rage's not going to save him either. And down he goes. This start just gets better and better for Evil Geniuses right now. But I do glance over the net worth, and Universe on that Nature's Prophet is topping the charts right now. Like I said, an Orchid on him, and in fact, he is prioritizing that. Or I guess he went to Vlad's first even. But yeah, Orchid's going to be high value this game. She's going to go Midas first on Warden, by the way, over the possible Necro build.
Well, he had a good start over here. I don't think he's in a hurry to do anything anytime soon. And I'm trying to think, like, where do you go if you're forward right now? They were actually equal in net worth up until that fight from EG, but EG is just going to use every single spike that they have so well. And when this team fight comes for you, I'm not sure if there's much forward can do against it. Noir, he's got the imprisonment.
They need to be careful though, there's a lot of other people here. They're fighting around a shrine. It's never really a great idea here. They'll go, look at the hammer. It's not going to be enough to take down S4. S4 is going to be able to go and run himself away. Eventually gets taken down though. And now Universe trying to run himself away from the stuff is double. Smail getting thrown into them. Everyone here. We'll get the Waning Rift off. Gonna try to go and jaunt himself away. Again, Rezo, he's looking for anyone they can throw some of these lovely swipes at, but they've all just pretty much vacated. And Fly, being a bit cheeky, deciding that that's his ward and it's worth it. Will pay for it dearly with his life, although a couple bounces here, doing a decent amount of damage, but not quite enough this time around.
And with the help of this Vlad, at the very least they can push into the mid lane here. Heroes on EG are not dead for long enough. I think the fact that Fly died there after S4 means that Forward can't just walk into Roche to try and get this Ursa back into the game, sadly enough.
Jeez.
The taunt.
Dire's middle tower.
The taunt. Where's the S4 taunt though? Where's that taunting Tidehunter? That's the question here.
Now it's the Radiant's turn to push with that Vlad's resolution. He'll be fine, but annoyed by the Arc Ward and Tempest double. Bots on Sumail. So going the bots, the very heavy mobility build.
They really want nothing to do with this split pushing Nature's Prophet.
You do have Egg up again over here on MSS, so if they decide to go in for this, might be able to punish it.
It is interesting how both teams kind of really have an idea in mind to play it both against it, but also do it themselves, right? The Arc Ward and Puck, and now you have Nature's Prophet on the other side is...
Hey, Universe, what's good?
Couldn't stop him, so...
No.
I was just sort of looking at you. Got like at least hit him for form, right? Come on, it's like he's right there. Just punch him. Show your frustration.
Right, right. Just stood there, like.
I guess Universe is just too zen, you know.
Interesting. Universe going the Hood of Defiance, by the way. Not choosing to go the Orchid, instead going to Pipe. So I think that's really telling, actually, for Forward that they just want to group and push. Like, they do not want to waste time this game.
Well, either group and push, or at least just be ready to confront EG during these spikes. Midas on the OD, so he's going to start growing back into this game now. He's got his farm amplification ready to go. And that's who he's buying time for. Because if you go a greedier build here on the Nature's Prophet, is Rezo dead?
It's feeling like it. Does have
Rage.
Last second coming up from Arteezy. Does just pick up that Blink Dagger though.
Yep.
That's gonna be online for him. That's gonna be a big spike.
Oh.
Finding himself this Universe over here. The Tidehunter TPing in. It looks like Universe gonna get taken down. And there's the Ravage right over with a nice Phoenix Egg though. We'll be able to get the last hit onto the tower, and the rest of the team just gonna walk away now from Forward. They don't want anything more to do with this. They're pleased with that, but unfortunately did end up losing the Nature's Prophet during all of that.
Yeah.
He was pretty tanky still, not Nature's, for how deep he was, but he can't actually survive that, even with the amount of team items that he's built.
Gosh, that's Sven. Thought he could get away.
I think props to EG, though, on the other side of it, too, in that they were, whenever you're going against Nature's Prophet, to make sure you have some kind of vision in trees nearby like that, if you expect an engagement could be happening. You know, that's where a Nature's Prophet usually would be going into, are those kind of trees, and EG at least had a hero in there to spot it. And that's what caught Universe completely off guard and allowed for that early kill. But yeah, you do see the pipe is almost finished on him. Even despite that death, he still is managing to be top of the net worth, despite the Midas even on Arc Ward, and that's been now for 2 or 3 minutes, if not more. We're gonna see the bots build on him next.
Well, Arteezy has the Mjolnir completed now. He's going to start to really accelerate.
I think it's just Maelstrom so far. I don't think he's got the other pieces just yet.
Oh yeah, the Maelstrom might.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, he's really far.
No. Sometimes I see a hammer with lightning and I just think Thor.
No, I mean, that is a natural response, honestly. Well, there's a jump forward with the blink, trying to just put as much damage as they can onto Crit. It looks like they're going to be able to get him. Yeah, there we go. Sunray finishing up.
Yes, and what I was actually going to say is that with the build that the Nature's Prophet has gone, this means that he can't really split push into Arteezy. He's not going to hit the same amount of speed on, well, killing these creep waves as Artur is. So his cores have to start getting online soon. He's finally lost the top spot in the farm, but the OD is coming up. Rezo is getting his items. Forward is still in fighting shape, even if they are going to be losing this this early power spike with their Nature's Prophet now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Frost Shield there, deterrent from going further. But OD, the 6 charge drums now online. I think this is the same build we did last game, actually. So Yawar has a good idea in mind of what he likes to do on OD, of course.
I mean, it worked last time for sure. So.
Yeah. Bit different of a game though, especially when it came to the team fight prowess, whereas now this is more they're relying on him perhaps to be a bit more of a damage dealer individually. So that's, I guess, the only argument I can make in terms of maybe you could see a change up, but nope, sticking to it. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, this is tier 2 dead.
Poor support from forward, trying to hold off the inevitable for as long as possible.
So when is the moment where they start feeling strong enough that they can try to take like a full-on fight on the side of forward, right? Because like we said, the Nature's Prophet was very, very strong, but now is starting to
wait for the right
side a little. Again, they just keep trying to jump over here onto crit. There's going to be the Dream Coil getting used, and this Ursa's just being kited very, very badly. Going to try to find an opening. Immediately, S4 coming in. He's not actually... Oh, at the last second, they find that last hit with the Ravage. The toss back as well. Rezo trying to run himself out. They're not going to be able to get Universe out. He is just falling behind. Is going to be the sacrifice. And Boots of Travel now picked up for Arteezy, so this guy's coming online, and he's coming online fast.
Yeah, in hindsight, tossing into the puck all the way over there might not have been the best idea. It actually just gave him a very easy path to just simply run forward with the phase boots.
Yeah, Rezo was dead to rights there.
Yeah.
He had no business walking out like that.
He got out there. But good job by EG, of course, being in the area to get the response, and did require Ravage, as we saw. So they know that's on cooldown now.
Yes.
100+ seconds.
It was also used all the way over on their turf. Not much in the way of buildings going to go down in response. And forward is still buying that space. What they're going to be looking for is a good turnaround fight, specifically one where, you know, the Ursa, the Nature's Prophet, the Sven can tank as many hits as possible while the OD ups his stacks. And then hopefully you drop the hammer and you just lay waste to the EG lineup. That's the ideal scenario there. That's what they're going to be aiming for. Maybe they'll get a nice egg on top as well. Maybe the Phoenix just dies. Most important part is that the OD lives and drops that R.
Right. Right, again, another initiation over here. Sven going to get thrown up into the air, right to the Tide Hunter, and they go, pulling him back, and using that Sinister Glare, they're going to be able to get the kill onto SVG.
Support Sven, kind of tanks the gank. You can look at it too, the 5-man rotation. Essentially there from the Radiant team. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet pushing out bottom, working on a Shadow Blade, and that's going to be a really important item for him to have, because sneaking up onto the Arc Warden, or even the puck for the matter, I assume, again, the work it's still done.
He's running the toss right back over to the puck. He's going to just keep himself out. No, they've got the Sinister Glare. I feel like that's a moment, too, where you're just like, all right, anyone but my brother, get this kill, please. I don't want to have to listen to this later.
It's a very bad spot for him to die, though. EG can immediately smoke up, move further forward. They are also really keeping control of this Roche area, by the way, because one of the avenues that forward could have back into the game is to sneak in a Roche.
Oh, again, Sven just is like a target for crit every single time. Gets another kill on him.
Yeah, and you mentioned Roshan. I mean, I suppose the Roshan taking isn't superb. I mean, with Arc Warden's damage, it'll be okay, but of course, if they kill enough heroes, and they do have that map area somewhat controlled right now, it's very possible.
I feel like it's so hard for them to pin down this puck.
Yes, but at the very least, you see that the puck also does 0 damage to Universe with the pipe up right now. He was trying to cut down that wave, make sure that the Nature's Prophet couldn't push in that bot wave, but with the pipe up, no way the puck gets through it. So they are going to have that pressure on their bot lane right now. Rezo jumping in.
Oh, he doesn't have the detection. He doesn't have the detection to take him down. In comes Nature's Prophet, though. We'll be able to go throw out that chain press, but it's not going to get any bounces. They'll finally find the kill over onto the Lich. Nice splitting here from Rezo to make sure that they don't get those bounces.
Talk about trusting your teammates right there. Solution. Definitely had faith that they were going to follow him up.
Fly was pinging Roshan just now. He wants to keep tabs on that. Rezo must not get an Aegis.
Yeah, that's the thing for EG is exactly it. Don't let Ursa sneak in there. No casual Morbid mask, but I suppose with the Basher. Oh.
Yeah, he's got the Dagon, he's got the clicks. And down goes the bear.
Too far.
He just got that Dagon. I saw him bottom lane, was building it, so
It's a nice
finishing it.
reveal. He must be feel pretty
Oh,
good
yeah.
about that.
It's probably the prime use of it right there. That's why you got it to help burst down that Ursa before even the Rage comes out, or an Astral Imprisonment. BKB in the works.
At least that's going to make Yor be very sure to survive this big initiation of EG. I'm gonna repeat that a couple times more because that's he's at least their survival condition right now. So as long as he lives, he builds his stacks. He's not gonna get murdered by the Arc Warden or something like that, because Arteezy is by now definitely building his advantage and building it fast.
Yeah. That's why I'm keeping tabs on this Nature's Prophet, because I really think he's going to just continue to be the X factor. You like the OD and what he can do in the fights and everything, and for me it's especially the Nature's Prophet and getting the Orchid follow-up here and being able to catch the Arc Warden or the Puck, or, you know, if anything, again, prevent the Arc Warden from massive split pushing against you. That's why they picked up the hero in the first place.
Puck coming in from the side.
Yeah, Smeal's on the hunt here. Has the Dream Coil, but doesn't have the detection.
His teammates are coming in though.
He's just going to TP out.
He's gone. No, he's just going to stay even.
But SVG in for some trouble. Again, taken down. And now MSS just throwing out the Sunray. Oh, that bait. Oh, Rezo might be in for some trouble here. They'll go ahead, they'll pop the Shrine though. They've got the Rise on S4. S4 gonna go ahead, get forced down. They've got the egg up and running. They'll drop the hammer, and they should be able to maybe finally find a kill over onto Arteezy. They'll find it, and now Rezo still on the run though. Oh, the Lich though, and the Sumail joining into the fight.
I think Universe got a bit greedy right there. He actually stuck around at the bottom lane, and they ended up finding him because he canceled that TP, and they killed him, and now Sumail makes his way to the top lane, and we see the end result. Finishes off Phoenix even, going to killing spree for S4 in that case. But yeah, that was a little bit of greed from Universe. Banking on that they just were going to stop chasing after him, perhaps.
So, a good pickup on that Arteezy kill, but then not worth it in the end. I feel like Rezo, they might be dead there anyway because of the fast reaction coming in by EG, but he's also got to be frustrated, right? He's pretty much about to be overtaken by his own Phoenix, who built a Midas, and he's just been doing nothing but getting zapped down by this Puck all game.
Again, when we saw the Ursa picked up, I was thinking that he'd probably be run as that support, and it is a bit rare to see him being run as a core right now, but a lot of teams are, you know, they're just trying out new stuff. They're experimenting.
Yes.
So,
and you know, once you get him running, literally there is no stopping that bear. But this was a very awkward game, and Ursa tri-lane,
yeah,
not quite the scenario you want to see him in usually.
All right, well, our crit every single time. He's got like a homing beacon on SVG's booty, I swear. Because everywhere that he goes, he's got it low
Specifically on the booty.
Specifically on the booty. Arteezy's coming in here, drops that bubble. See you later.
Yeah, it's total control now for Evil Geniuses. It seems like at this point, when they're the team with that Arc Warden that you'd figure they'd have to rely on the split push, and they're not even necessarily needing to do that. It's kind of the opposite now. Forward Gaming, it seems like they're going to be the ones as a MSS goes down their mid lane. Yeah, level 20 Puck, by the way. That Waning Rift cooldown now picked up. But it seems like that Forward's the one that's going to have to rely now on Nature's Prophet to simply split push. Because again, going back to the Ursa, he's up there on the tier list of you need those heroes to snowball from the beginning. Or if he doesn't, then he feels like a, not necessarily like a glorified melee creep, but you get the point. It's not why you pick the hero. Again, in the aspect of the bubble against the Arc Warden, I still think it's very useful, makes sense, but he is under-farmed, they're feeling it, and it's hard to find some easy answers for Forward Gaming to climb back in this one. That net worth keeps rising up to about 10k now, favoring EG.
It's a big old Aegon on that Puck. That is going to be a huge problem.
Yeah, level 5, jeez.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
So much burst damage, and at least Universe had the pipe already, but
Dire's bottom tower
this is going to make it very easy for EG to find a pick-off and then go high ground. There's no outer towers left for Forward Gaming anymore, and if they lose one hero, they're gonna lose their base. RTZ is not gonna stop at this point.
Yeah, nice cutting. Something we'll see plenty of.
When that's the only thing that you can do right
Yep.
now, right? This bear is severely underfarmed. Poor SVG can't even leave the base.
Yeah, no.
Second he leaves the base, there is a Tiny.
The way this game's been going.
All right, Fly.
Well, is that there's a tier 1 still up. If Fly lives long enough.
When Ursa's scared to jump a ledge
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, all right, we're just right into the base. Hello.
Tempest double things.
Yeah. They're struggling though just to deal with the Tempest double.
Yeah, again, that's why when people call it an illusion, I try to make a point to call it a Tempest double, the appropriate name, because exactly,
It's not.
illusion, it's disrespectful almost with the hero. It's definitely not an illusion. It's a lot more than that. It essentially is another hero that just doesn't have any downside, of course. So
I've always thought clone is a good shorthand.
sure,
Good way to say it, yeah.
Like, Tempest double is such a mouthful.
it is.
That's fine.
Well, you know,
Tried to rapid firing during a team fight.
I was about to say you're the play-by-play. It's your problem.
It is my problem. It is my problem. That is that's
SVG's problem.
SVG's problem. Like I said, he can't walk outside of his base. He just gets immediately murdered. This time it wasn't Crit who murdered him though. Crit was not quite a part of that one. But yeah, look at this. They just walk right on up here. They have that Aegis. Just gonna siege casually.
You can see
Doing
Nature's
something. I hear the waning rift somewhere, but just
going up the mid wave. You want to have those 2 waves going to base.
Oh dear, this is the person that, yeah, all right. He's got the BKB up. Does he have TP?
Does not have a TP.
Awkward.
It's fine. It's fine. They're not chasing him.
Yeah, he's gonna run over.
But they
His
are
base is
going
dead,
to
though.
lose. I was about to say, they are going to be losing their tower at the very, very minimum, if not a lot more. And the S4 just doing a great job of, kind of standing forward, making sure that if they try to go after RTZ, he just lets out a great big old ravage.
They got the Tempest double.
And if you wait this long with repelling an Arc Warden siege as well, he's going to have all of these spark rays set up all over the place. It's just a minefield.
Littering your base.
Extremely hard to engage back into it. Look at that.
Look at that, yeah.
Coming forward, immediately he gets 2 to the face.
Tempest double getting summoned up again. Universe taking a decent amount of damage here. Gonna get right into the bubble, but gonna just jump in there with that Dagon. Avalanche coming through as well. Now Ursa might be able to go and chase down Camille, but he's a really hard target to kind of grab here. Egg is going to get popped in the back line. Universe, he's sitting so low, but he wants to help. He's not going to be able to. Tempest double actually going to find the kill now. You are trying to hide himself back. Dream Coil coming through, going to be able to land over on multiple heroes. Followed up with the Ravage. They're going to be able to take down SVG. They're going to take down Resolution. And now it looks like MSS is going to have to flap those little birdie wings back into the fountain and pray that they don't feel like fishing in it.
And you know how I said that, the hope for forward gaming was to land a really big hammer? The OD didn't get to hit anyone during that fight. He had 4 insacts the last time I checked, and he just died without even blowing the hammer.
The second he shows up, they know that that's their target.
There's not enough distraction is the biggest thing. And Ursa being underfarmed, who, by the way, he debuted as Abyssal Blade. He went straight Abyssal Blade. He tried to use it on Puck, and they just supported him like crazy. So the kite happened. But yeah, him and Sven are both completely underfarmed. And so, yeah, they go right for OD anyways and make his life difficult.
Camille's just playing with his food at this point.
Yeah. That -8, what does it make the winning wave, like a 5-second cooldown? Yeah, that's crazy, because it's a 3.5-second silence on top of just that constant burst damage that's applying.
They're trying to pincer
That is a Radiance on MSS. I mean, I knew he was building something with, but...
Get Shiva's queued up.
Oh, bye-bye, Birdie.
That was a short time to enjoy your freshly purchased core item.
Yes, yes indeed. I don't think they can force him out of the base at this point. Again, maybe if the OD gets a lot of instacks up. It's a big maybe, though. Look at this avalanche. Oh my god, look at that Dream Coil. They get stunned up, and they're trying to just chase down Crit here, but he doesn't seem too concerned. They've got a Glimmer Cape for him. They do have the vision, but the rest of the team now forcing themselves away. The Sheepstick's going to come out over here onto the OD, and he's so important to their plans, and it looks like they'll drop the hammer. You are in for so much trouble. It is actually going to get taken down. Take it down over onto the Sven. Little Sheep coming through here yet again. That's going to be another kill for
is under attack.
I'm
For
sorry.
S4.
That was something. So Samael, he used the orb, he
Yep.
bought back, and he jaunted back after the buyback to, you know, make it back in there. I was like, what? All of a sudden, he's just back in the fight. There's always fun seeing stuff like that. But
I wonder if he died to the Earth on purpose.
like, yeah,
to be
just say,
able to do
please
that.
kill me.
Just to, you
just to
know.
be pretty.
Yeah.
Because
Sometimes you gotta style on
hey, they get the puck kill in the end, but yeah, too little damage on the hammer, even after such a long fight and such a like courageous attempt by forward to secure their base. But this is much more the EG that I expect to see normally. Win lanes, get all 3 of your cores farmed, win game.
Yeah, the on paper, again, the Ursa pick made sense. Like I said, it's a great hero at getting inside that bubble and, you know, hugging the Arc Warden and thrashing him down. But they ran the trial lane, and the trial lane did not go nearly as well for forward gaming as, of course, they assumed it would, I'm sure. Also, credit to EG in terms of responding the way they did. And we got a game 3. Obviously, I'm not disappointed by that.
That's what I was hoping. I wanted to see a 3-game series out of these guys. They're both excellent teams, and they're always so hyped to cast. So we will definitely be back with a game number 3. So stick around, guys. We'll see you soon.
Miles above you.
Yeah, no, we have a game number 3 coming out here between Forward Gaming and EG, and we're actually just joking with production over in the other room. It was clearly planned that we all would get our prediction wrong because we know that we've been cursing teams by saying which ones are going to win. So we figured if we all said the same thing, we would get a game 3.
That was my logic. I don't know if you guys had the same logic, but that was my logic.
Yeah,
so
totally. Yeah, 100%.
You're welcome.
Right, Kips?
No, I'm just an idiot.
Oh,
Good on you for, you know, we're still in denial over here a little bit. But, yeah, what did we think about last game?
Acceptance is the first step to improvement. Last game, yeah, things just not working out for Forward in the laning stage, and then you got to scramble all game basically. I think Universe put in a heroic effort trying to keep his team on top, but as a Nature's Prophet, having so many different things to consider and to do, he can't be everywhere at all at once. And Sumail with those boots of travel could be everywhere at once.
And he was everywhere at once. Every time Rezo showed up, I felt like there was a Sumail there. Same thing like with, what was it, Crit, just always on Sven.
Yep.
He was not getting anything done that time.
You ideally need a core right now. With the meta that is going on with how active trial lanes are especially, you want to be sure to pick up a core that will be able to combat in said trial lane and be very useful. And that's where we really saw the weakness of Ursa, at least in this specific matchup. So, again, we're talking about it. If they had the chance to replay this game, you know, same draft and everything, pretty sure they would send Ursa to the safe lane and try to make it work around that. But not the case. So, very well drafted and well played ultimately by EG. And that's the game 3.
So what do we think we're going to see this time around coming out from these teams? Are we going to see something that's a little bit more comfort-based? Because, you know, this is the big one, right?
This is it. This is it. Winner goes to the major.
Yeah. Or do you think we're going to see, you know, maybe playing around a little bit more, maybe trying to do kind of like more early strats with like pushing? Or will we still see, you know, we've seen this Tiny and this OD twice now. And every time we've seen the Tiny, it has just performed so well. Do you think they're going to allow that to get through, or do you think that's going to be a ban?
I would probably ban it if I'm not first pick.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the OD? Now, again, this time it wasn't enabled quite as easily because before we had Rezo on the Faceless Void, and he was able to get a really nice chrono, and then you just had the OD wailing on people. Second game didn't have that kind of lockdown, right?
Yeah.
You had, you know, an Ursa who unfortunately was incredibly underfarmed. So do you think they're still going to pick up that OD? Do you think they'll ban it? Do they think it's an issue?
I think that the longer it goes into a series like that, the more of a liability it becomes. We saw one not so successful lane counter pick, a second much more successful lane counter pick. I would be surprised to see it forward, but I think it's a risk for EG as well because it's going to be very much on everyone's minds. And at this point, I think you got to try something a little bit different. And from EG, I expect once again a very lane dominant kind of draft.
Okay.
Yeah, not going into the game with a pre-mindset, not that either team is, but just kind of adapting to the flow of the game. I do agree with Kips that if you do not have the first pick, ideally ban Tiny. That hero has proven to be one of the most, and I was actually going to look it up real quickly, but I'll do that here. I have a little more time, but
take it to go for it.
I'm pretty sure Tiny
I've
is.
I've just been told that the game coordinator is down. So.
Oh well, we might have a lot of time here. Okay. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure Tiny is the most picked hero right now in these qualifiers, and you know, I think we're not, and none of us are surprised at that.
No.
By hearing that.
It's been like across all the regions, this hero has just consistently been like one of the top picks. And again, I think it comes back to like what you were saying, Kips, the fact that you have this hero that can punish any sort of bad placement. You just get a little too close to that Tiny and you're near that tower, he's going to toss you back. It doesn't even need to be near a tower. He just has this capability to grab you, toss back to your teammates, and in some cases, you know, toss a teammate or... We're not going to talk about that.
No?
But, you know, I think that it does come down to that, right?
Yeah. Like, in general, it's not just Tiny Airlines, right? But it's also that this hero has a huge AoE stun with a lot of reach. His combo can nuke down waves, so he can farm relatively fast for that blink dagger as well, compared to a lot of other pos 4s. Of course, that also means that if he can two-shot waves, it means that he is on the map, off the map real fast. It means that cores don't have to show to sweep waves. Then, of course, after he gets that blink dagger, you have this reliable initiation with a ton of burst damage on top. And if the Tiny has been doing well, which he usually has, that burst damage might just be enough to pick off other supports one-on-one, as we saw with poor SVG in the previous game.
Oh, poor SVG.
So across all the regions, Tiny is the most played hero, 49.45% win percentage. So, you know, essentially 50%. It is very even. That's not surprising to see with the most picked hero. 91 matches played. The next highest is Darkseer at 79. So there is a good gap there even between the first and the second most played. As I do pull up these stats, there are a couple of interesting ones that do stand out to me. Grimstroke is a top 10 picked hero at 62 matches, yet has a 32% win percentage.
Oh.
So that's telling. I've noticed that trend. We have been seeing less Grimstroke as the event's gone on. So it does feel like people or teams have been kind of realizing almost that the nerfs maybe hit him a bit harder than expected. Thus,
yeah, his function is still the same, but he's a lot less punchy now.
Yeah,
a lot less of that one-man force.
Yeah, there's a couple of interesting. Tusk is down there as well, 39% win percentage, so he's fallen off a bit.
I imagine Juggernaut is up there with the most picked?
Juggernaut's third most picked, 78 matches, so yep, correct, 51% win percentage. So.
Well, he got
draft.
Banned right there. Tusk also getting banned.
Yeah, Juggernaut's been banned all 3 games now. I think, especially with the Lich value, Lich and the Juggernaut, again, they just don't want to have to deal with that. And yeah, one of the, if not the strongest core right now.
Yeah, the Darkseer ban as well. It's interesting with Darkseer because either we've been seeing him get picked up or he's just immediately banned. Nobody wants to deal with him because he's got that very strong laning presence. The fact that you know, you can throw out the Ion Shell and then just go cut the wave, drag it over to a camp and just get maximum efficiency. And there's not much that people can do because of that surge.
It's not even strong laning presence in that sense. It's more just annoying laning presence or even anti-laning presence. He doesn't have to lane if he doesn't want to.
That's true.
Nobody's going to make him.
That's true.
And then especially if you pair him up with a Tiny or an Elder Titan, something extremely tanky. You know who I'm surprised we're not seeing anymore? Slardar.
Radiant team
Yeah, I'm not
pick.
sure why we're not seeing much Slardar.
Where's the Fishman?
I don't know.
Well, especially with Lifestealer, you know, Lifestealer-Slaughter combination is very strong.
Well,
It's a classic.
Yeah, classic indeed. So I don't know. To answer your question, I mean, Corrosive Haze, great tool. And honestly, the changes to the hero, initially, again, it was a little funky to read, and is this going to be better? But because the Crush no longer being the 2+ second stun or whatever it used to be, now it's just a 1 second stun, but it's like a 6 second slow on top of that. And then, yeah, you queue up your bash procs now with the right click. So a core slaughter especially is something that is potentially relevant, but there's the Lich into the Earth Spirit. This is a crit Earth Spirit. Goes without saying, he is pretty good
I will take the pig.
with this hero.
Thank you.
I will have
thank
a
you.
pig pile here.
Nice.
A little
Nice.
piggy pretty.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, I feel like
10
every
seconds
time we go
remaining.
live, there's 1 or 2 more pigs around
I like
us.
it. They're
Somebody's sneaking in
5
pigs.
seconds remaining.
I was about to say, just production slowly driving us crazy.
We're
yeah.
gonna come like, there's gonna be so many pigs literally like
Falling
covering
from the
us.
ceiling.
Yeah, like
Radiant
Yeah, that's
Speaking of
the
that.
end of the production. Actually, there's just a whole netting
Well-
up here with pigs that's gonna fall on us.
wait a second. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this fine gentleman.
Oh.
Yeah. Just get picked up though.
Yeah, for bad reasons though. So
Bad reasons. Ooh.
well, I mean, again, what was it, like 32% win percentage as a top 10 played hero? And this isn't a small sample size necessarily. We're talking about it was like 60, 70 match, or in total something like 120 matches. So,
5 seconds
Yep.
remaining.
well, actually, no, way more than that. But
I'm guessing that in this case, it's partially a block
Team
pick.
back.
Just
let
not
the
giving it to Ford.
tiny
So
through,
Ford
though.
gets the tiny.
That's
that's over here, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's baffling to me. It's baffling that it's a second pick too. Like
I agree. Tiny's,
so good.
it's like we just had that conversation. I mean, this hero's ridiculous right now, and allowing them to get the Tiny and picking Grimstroke for yourself just does not seem
10
like a
seconds
winning
remaining.
combo.
I mean, Grimstroke Lich is a winning combo, though,
5
so
seconds
True.
remaining.
pick your poison
This
in this
Tiny over
case.
there.
True.
Although, let's be honest, we're going to see an aggressive trail line at this
I
point.
still
That's
think the
just-
tiny is definitely more threatening though, even when you have that Lich Grimstroke combo. Just because he can be such a threat on the map early, especially if he starts, escalating very, very quickly. The fact that you don't know where Tiny's lurking, and you have to be so careful, especially if you're a support, right? It puts a lot of pressure on the map, and you want to make sure you have vision, that you're sticking nearby the people that are important. I don't think it was worth it for them if indeed the Grimstroke was a bit of a denial pick.
Not a lot of supports that can solo other supports. So, Bad Rider out from EG, Arc Warden out from Forward Gaming. They do not want to have to deal with that again. And now is the question, are we going to see a Luna ban, for example?
10 seconds remaining.
If we are going to tri-lane again, Luna is, of course, the tri-lane hero.
Yeah.
5
No, that's what I was
seconds
saying.
remaining.
This is a meta right now. That's where it's shifting, at least it feels like, as we're developing, that tri versus tri lane is very real. And you want to make sure to have a core that can combat in said tri lane. So,
Well, the other thing that I'm not seeing here yet is well, I guess there have been an Enigma ban and a Magnus ban, so there has been, and Darkseer. Yeah, never mind actually. A lot of these solo lane heroes have been getting banned out as well. So it is going to be relatively harder, or there's going to be some form of weird matchup, I think, on the lane that's going to be left solo at this point.
Doom is still there.
Yeah.
Usually it's been more of the answer to Darkseer that people have been running, but Doom himself is still a very strong hero, and
Yeah.
maybe potentially want a better Doom target if they are going to go that hero. But
Well, if you get a Doom, then especially if you're on the side of Evil Geniuses, right, you get the double Doom with the Grimstroke. Like, the synergy is incredible. And then also you have to keep in mind the Scorched Earth makes you quite swift. And then you've got Inkswell on top of you. You can just kind of really mess with the lane if they decide to lane it that way. Not necessarily, usually you would see, especially Evil Genius, they've been running kind of like the tri-lanes situation coming out there. But it's a very powerful lane. Otherwise, if you pair it.
Terrorblade ban. I'm thinking that forwards inching towards that Luna. But yeah, if we get that Doom out, we saw I believe it was J-Storm pick the
5
Necrophos
seconds
into Doom.
remaining.
Yeah.
And he out-sustained
true.
the enemy Doom and then completely zoned him out of the game later. It was not that Doom couldn't get his farm up at all, and that ended in a very smooth ride for for J-Storm towards victory at that point. Void out, so no Lich Tiny Void tri-lane there. And now you get to see...
When two good teams are going at it like this, it's so fun to kind of see the drafts. I'm sure you can appreciate this, especially Kips. The drafts develop from game to game in a 3-game series now.
Yes.
Just from the bans and the answers that each team has to one another. And
yeah, every series has its own meta, really.
Yeah.
And you're going to get, especially for inexperienced drafters, you get, for example, at the end of a 3-game series like this, you get that they forget certain heroes because they're too caught up in the matchup and they forget that in the meta itself, Lifestealer hadn't been touched yet at all. I don't think that has been forgotten in this case, actually.
Yeah.
But
just happened to not be here in this series so far.
I think it's funny, too, that you mentioned that, Kips. I think you and I have actually had a conversation in other, just not even in this sort of setting, where we're discussing about different types of drafts and also how certain teams will draft specifically, like it's not the meta necessarily, but they'll draft against those teams because they know what they like, what they know what they want to do, and they get inside each other's minds to kind of try to adjust that way, which I always found very, very interesting. And then in this case, you know, with Forward and Evil Geniuses, again, we talked about these guys probably scrim each other quite a bit, so they know each other quite well. They know what patterns that they like to do. And so that might affect the way that they're drafting as well.
Going to affect it a lot, for sure.
Yeah, rather than just going straight up meta half the time. Obviously, you know, these guys are going to follow the meta. They're professional players. That's part of their job. They need to know. But the way that they play might be a little bit different depending on which team that they're facing.
And Forward really thinking about this pickup here now. They know which carry they're playing into. I'm still thinking that they're considering the Luna here, but they're also considering that EG has already thought about this possibility. So a lot of it is about the follow-up now as well.
Evil Geniuses.
And they go Omni Knight as something.
Okay. Here we go again. Again, I love seeing it. And the fact that Forward Gaming is picking it up, I think, is even more telling that this hero actually has capability with a major spot on the line. But we have, at least from what we've witnessed so far, it hasn't, in the earlier match specifically, it didn't contribute enough. But again, that was a completely one-sided game, and it wasn't his fault, and blah, blah, blah. Now, when you do pick up the Omni Knight, go back to, you usually want to pair him with some bit of strength core. So like a Chaos Knight potentially comes to mind, and we saw it again in that earlier.
That was a great tri-lane there as well.
Yeah.
And CK is pretty decent matchup into Lifestealer as well. Like, of course, with Lifestealer against normal strength cores, you have this matchup where you steal extra life, do extra damage, etc. But there's a Doom.
There's a double Doom.
The double Doom.
I was thinking maybe Brewmaster, because again, with the Omni Knight matchup, but they do go Doom, and yeah, I think if anything, because of the Grimstroke synergy.
Well, that's an easy way to make sure that this Omni Knight doesn't matter,
exactly.
right? If he's doomed, he can't do anything.
You could argue that's better then, yeah.
Well,
you really are getting good at that, Kip.
A little bit. I switched to my right hand, and it's made a world of difference.
5 seconds remaining.
So Doom over there. Yeah, and again, let me just do this now, because again, this is just what we're seeing now.
You sound bored already.
No. No, it's more of a accepting the trial lane meta. Which is great, of course. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
It's got to make mid players super happy again. Just have the classic 1v1 instead of having, you know.
Well, the offlaners, if anything, too, and I don't have to worry about that.
Phantom Assassin, Lich Tiny. Okay. That's the classic.
A very active team coming up in the setup for, because I think that was one of the issues when we did see the Omni Knight earlier, correct? Like, I believe it was started from the Potom, drafted it for Versatile, and while he did quite well in his lane, again, it was a little bit of that.
They had the clinks, but again, he had a really bad start.
Yeah, they never got the chance to be accelerating. So this might make it a bit easier having a very active sort of core, very active guessing position 4, and the 5 that can kind of do roaming. Because that's a big deal about Lich having his spells reworked now, is the fact that this is now a hero that can effectively gank if they want, or just, you know, start moving around a lot earlier because you have that lockdown, you've got the slow, and then of course you've got the frost shield.
I mean, PA's always been a great pairing with Omni Knight in general, too. No matter.
But I don't think they're going to be in the same lane together.
No, not in the same lane, of course not.
That used to be the classic lane, right?
I guess that could have been a lane way back in the day.
Long time ago, back in the
But no,
they
just throughout the game. Now, it's not that strength core as I was bringing up earlier, but again, the thing with how this Heavenly Grace works now, just because it's not a strength core doesn't mean they won't benefit from it outright. You know, it still is strength, and they'll get that life pool increase, so as well as the regen. And I go back to the status resistance. That's something not to overlook either. It's a stat that isn't as much in the game anymore, but, you know, things like Satanic and now with this ability.
Pretty glad it's not as much in the game anymore.
Of course, yeah, and there's a reason for that. But with Omni Knight it is. So they both banned as an OD and a DK ban. And that was a Lich first pick, right? So yeah, it's going to be EG final pick.
They did take out one strength core then in the form of the DK.
Yeah.
Which I would have really liked that pick as well to round out forwards draft. It's a solid mid laner, can't really easily, you know, counter pick it. And it's this tower seizure that because they declined to go with the Luna, really don't have right now. Tower damage, disable, good synergy with the Omni Knight. Would have been a great pick.
You know, Timbersaw's, I don't know why Timbersaw's kind of, okay.
Go for the Ursa again. Just to zoom in on Ricky's face.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That was a great reaction there, I know. That was my bit of a dumbfounded face because, or how far are we going to go with this, you know? Just going to keep going? Okay.
Look at those eyes. They're beautiful.
They're beautiful eyes. Thank you.
10 seconds remaining.
Anywho, Ursa, yeah, that's it's not the Arc Warden bubble, so they're not going for that reason. Did have that issue last game, but I don't think they're planning to trial it this time, obviously. Instead, this is going to be a mid Ursa, more than likely, unless it's a support Ursa with a tiny core.
Can still do that.
That's possible.
Can still run the PA mid as well. She's not amazing, but also, you know, can always farm with the daggers. Will always appreciate those levels.
Is this where we flip the board because everything's gotten all willy-nilly, tabletop sim style?
I really did my best on, you know, arranging this.
You did.
Nice.
It is beautiful.
Thank you.
No, Ursa, by the way, yeah.
Yeah.
So might as well put that here out.
Still processing that on his brain after all the... And a Queen of Pain. Ooh.
So not a lot of lockdown on forward gaming, really only in their supports. Magic burst damage against this Fatnip Assassin and Ursa, who maybe thought, you know, we can skip out on our BKBs a little bit because we get an Omni Knight. And an incredible vehicle for the Life Stealer as well. I was thinking about the Earth Spirit before. He's, you know, decent, rolling in, stunning, boom, Life Stealer in your face, but the Queen of Pain is also very good at that.
Is Quap on this side?
I'm trying to determine, it should be...
No, she's up there with the Pango.
Is she? Oh, she's back.
Right behind
there
Pango.
she is. Okay. Does this potentially change a matchup now for forward? Because I would assume Ursa into a Quap doesn't sound fun.
No, it is not fun at all.
Especially a Sumail Quap.
But is Tiny much better?
So awesome. I'm really
Tiny like so what? It'd be Tiny then.
Yeah, Tiny is.
You think Tiny
better,
would?
though.
Okay.
Like in like as long as he has the tree, the Quap still needs to like keep her distance, and he is going to get last hits and not be because of the range as well. Not going to be as bothered by the slow.
All right, it's prediction time though.
Oof.
So I'm full in on EG right now. I'm full in. I see a Quap. I know Sumail. I want to see this happen. I'm on the hype train for this actually. So
yes,
based on that alone, I'm going EG.
Well, yeah, you're definitely not alone in that. I enjoy that Quap pick. It's really good. I also think that the Lich plus PA lane has been sort of played out by now. People know what to do against it. It's going to be most likely an Ursa support. Either that or an Omni Knight support. Could do that as well, or an Ursa. But I'm not feeling it.
All right, so we got another EG.
Got another EG.
Another EG. What about you, Mr. Breaky? You riding that Omni Knight train?
See, I'm trying to figure that I like Omni Knight, but he is against a Doom, he is against a Phantom's Embrace, a Grimstroke, against Earth Spirit Silence. Like, there's a lot of ways to deal with him in fights. I'm gonna say forward gaming.
All right.
Omni Knight.
You know what? I appreciate the fact that you're sticking to that conviction that you're gonna see this Omni Knight.
Just make it work, please.
All right.
Do it.
So we got a nice split here. Let's see who's going to be going to the major.
This is it, yeah. It's, again, loser still has a chance, but winner is going. Absolutely.
All right, so it is Universe who will be playing the Omni Knight here.
And who's on
The off
Ursa?
lane,
Yawar's on
Yawar.
Ursa.
So it's going to be position 4,
30 seconds
and
to
it's going to
battle.
be...
Okay.
Or sorry, not position 4. Oh my
No,
gosh.
it's gonna be
Sorry.
mid, but it's
Brain.
just well, they could swap things, but if they at this point it would probably. I think they're committing. What are they doing? I don't know.
I don't know about
I'm
this.
guessing and just wait.
Resolution
Okay, so PA will be
mid.
mid. Okay.
Still a core Ursa, not on an aggressive tri lane this time though. He is just on his own safe lane.
The
I
battle
was thinking Yapster. That's when
begins.
my brain went sideways for half a second there. Good grief. All right.
S4 on the Doom. Going to be actually playing into the tri lane so far, I think, here. And a defensive tri lane on the other side. So yeah, no try versus try. For the first game, what feels like ages. And yeah, you know, if you're a solo offlaner against this Ursa, that is no fun.
No, for sure. Especially because now he's got that movement.
And SVG is going to be helping out mid, yeah. So they readjusted the lanes, you know, Sumail's gonna win that matchup no matter what. And they don't need...
Thanks for the help, I guess? Question mark?
Yeah, I was gonna say, they don't need that Lich on bottom per se.
Right. Luckily, Doom fairly speedy, but what is the actual matchup between these guys here for...
Well, Doom can't really come close to the creep wave, especially as...
Yes, no, I'm just saying, like, in case he gets thrown back, I still think it's a very, very scary situation.
I mean, Doom is tanky.
His tanky is pretty fast when he's got Scorched Earth up, but...
It might be better for him to be tossed at a tower than to be tossed at an Ursa.
Yes, no, agree. Agree on that. So lots of Harassah coming out over here on Universe. It is a, you know, a Grimstroke. He actually opted to go for the Inkswell level 1, but they did rotate someone in to help Sumail with this mid lane. So we were talking about how, you know, mid laner is going to be really happy that they're back to 1v1. This is clearly the caster's curse here.
Yeah, sorry about that, Sumail. I mean, perhaps he appreciates the, a little bit of difference. I'll hit back into tower, but yeah, that's a PA.
If that was the Lich, that would... Oh, wow, Sumail's sitting super low.
This is a crazy lane, man. They're just duking it out. I think it really is respect, though, to how good that final pick was by EG, and that the fact that they're kind of really switching just how the meta is played right now to help deal with it of sending 2 heroes mid and forcing even the Earth Spirit to make their rotation. So, but yeah, they were really worried about that QoP. All their lanes didn't make a lot of sense, so this is the best way to go about it. Omni Knight, he's fine, just gonna pull lane. And yeah, I was noticing the build that we saw earlier, even though the losing effort, but Omni Knight passing up Purification altogether. Instead of just leveling up the Heavenly Grace and the Degen Aura, it kind of makes sense because the Heavenly Grace is already doing so much regen. You don't necessarily need that burst heal to harass, I guess, or at least you don't have to have it. Obviously, it'd be nice to have, but you're getting that regen. It's just so much better value, I would assume, as far as the numbers go, as far as mana cost.
There's a super sneaky Tiny over here in this mid lane. Again, if they grab either one of these cores for the most part, they're going to be able to either blink out unless they go very aggressive, or of course with crit can try to roll himself away. But again, have to watch out for those body blocks. It's just going to be a casual stroll through mid though for the Tiny. Not going to be able to create any more chaos than was already being created here.
Arteezy on the Lifestealer though, he is 17 and 12, 18 and 12 now. So talk about just essentially free farm. Omni Knight is dealing in a 1v2 from the looks of it. Makes a bit more sense. In fact, he himself is only 5 and 2. We saw him pulling the creep wave. Not the most ideal start. We're on the other side, Doom. He's doing a lot better. In fact, he's going to be tossed in.
Right back to Mr. Bear. This is looking like a dead S4. First blood.
I was thinking that maybe he thought there was enough range, but Toss has such a huge reach.
I'm worried about up here, right? Because we've talked about the Omni Knight. The issue with him is that he's not really able to harass. He can sustain, he can stay in the lane, but especially against a Lifestealer, right? There's not too much they can do otherwise than... Oh, Haste picked up over here on Sumail. Is he going to try to chase after SVG? Potentially might have these eyes on the PA, but needs to be careful again. They do have plenty of lockdown. Avalanche going to connect though over on mid, and the toss back right to the PA. That's going to be a dead crit.
So using the long distance tosses especially. But yeah, Omni Knight, we are seeing a kind of difference here where some heroes may be able to sustain a bit better in a 1v2 like the Tidehunter, for example, but not the case with the Omni Knight. And he's going to have to find himself, I don't know, if he goes to a jungle. He did get Purification, I noticed, at level 2, and I don't know if that is adapting to how this is going, and maybe he figures he might need to start jungling soon. And of course will help, but he's just going to keep pulling the creep wave for now.
If you go have graces while you're not trading, whereas with Purification, obviously, with the damage you actually are. So this is also something that's going to make him a little bit more combative.
So much more.
I just feel like lately we've been seeing so many of these offlaners just going for the pull, trying to catch them up with like another creep camp for the maximum efficiency. It just feels like the offlaner doesn't really play a lane anymore in some senses.
So that 1v1.
Oh boy, all right. So S4 is just going to casually walk past the tower, walk past the creep, and he's going to get chased down by UR.
Yeah, as I said before, really less afraid of that tower than he is of that big fuzzy bear.
You don't want to feed an Ursa. Guy gets very, it's like, well, you said it, Kips, earlier. You said, you know, once this bear gets going, it's very hard to get him to stop. Now, taking a lot of harass here in the mid lane. This Lich being added in, I think, has been very, very value.
Really good adjustment. And they paid for that, obviously, with the farm of their Omni Knight. If they have a Lich on another lane, perhaps they're able to force rotations or they're able to protect that Omni. But you gotta give some, you gotta take some. In this case, having this Ursa and PA up on the net worth charts is a lot better than having this poor universe up there.
Say 6-minute Midas also on the lifestealer.
I don't think he went boots. Yeah, he literally just going right into Midas, or did he get the boots?
He's got boots.
Okay, so I guess he did go to
This
boots
is a baller
first,
lifestealer, man.
No, he is.
You think those delicate toes are going to be touching the ground here? Come on now.
Have you seen his toes?
They're disgusting. Even more reason.
Would he really
why
mind?
He needs boots. Do you have a smoke over here in the mid lane though? Yeah, he's all bloody and stuff with his feet. There's a roll in. He's got the frost shield up over here onto Resolution. He's going to try to run himself away. Maybe try to get a juke. We'll be able to find that kill, but we'll find the kill on crit as well.
Nice one. And that moment where I said Sumail, it's like a split second later I realized, oh, he's going a little bit too far forward, see if he can draw anyone back, and then the first bird gets the roll in. They were waiting for that smoke. It's still a really, very nice pickoff.
Ursa does respond with a Midas of his own, a little bit later on, about 30 seconds or so, but he too is farming very well at the bottom lane. I'm also noticing that it denies. You got 23 on Lifestealer, you have 12 on Quap, so 35 combined already in this game from Evil Geniuses.
That's a lot of gold missing for forward.
Yeah. PA does have the Ring of Hell, so we're gonna see the Battle Fury build, likely this game.
And in a tri-lane game, sometimes with his first catapult wave, you would already see movements for towers, but in this case, I don't think that's going to be happening. Everyone's just busy farming. This is only going to add a little bit of difficulty to the proper last hitting for most of these carries, and not actually be a goal in and of itself.
Pretty calm otherwise though right now. Do you see some movement going down to this bottom area? Tiny, of course, over in that camp. Sumail just really, they put so much pressure on him. They actually blink forward very aggressively. And Sumail gonna have to blink himself out.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Rune secured by crit.
A lot of blink actually in the mid lane when you think about it, right? You got blink strike, and then you've got the actual blink over on the Quap.
Yeah, it's a mind game of using the cooldown. I believe blink strike is definitely the shorter cooldown in that matchup, but so it's Quap the one that needs to be extra careful. Yeah, only an 11 second
right.
compared to 15. There you go. Scriff is awesome.
Confirmed.
I was gonna say, you guys agree? React to that. We'll talk later.
Don't let him hear that.
Don't worry, we'll talk later.
I thought we talked about this break. You never give him 5 stars. Only 4.5.
4.5. Hey, I didn't say 5. 4.5. He's 4.5 awesome.
All right.
Phase boots there.
We got a Doom online. We don't have the Grimstroke ultimate up just yet, but
They're being spotted. No, what I was gonna say is that we saw like 30 seconds difference between the Midas pickups, right? We also saw a 30-second difference between the phase boots pickups on both characters.
Yeah.
All right, Avalanche coming through over here on Grimstoke. I don't think they want a hard commit on this right now, though.
And yeah, you see the very small gap really in net worth too. It's about 150 or so between that. I'm closer to 200, but
Fly might be in a little. Oh, I like this. I like how he's got crit. Being the bodyguard, gonna be able to go throughout the Inkswell. Oh, the toss though coming out. You are finds himself a tasty morsel in that Grimstroke.
Crit just uses every bit of this hero. The kickback on Grimstroke, and he died in the end, but forcing the reaction out of forward and the better play in a sense with the toss, but sure, but almost keeping Grimstroke alive because of that. We're going to see more of that, I'm sure, throughout the game. He is going Radiance on a Lifestealer, it looks like, by the way. 1,000 gold saved up, Radiance queued up.
He's going to run phase first here into the Tiny. He's going to try to put out some damage chase after this Omniite, just a little bit. Doesn't seem too concerned, though. In the bottom lane, they've got their eyes on the snuggly little bear. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to quite catch him. They did use the Doom on him. There's going to be Sonic Wave, not going to be enough damage. They had that Purification, and I'm thinking that he's pretty glad he picked up that point.
Yep, that saved him. And what level is it? It's level 3, in fact. Yeah, so
that would have been a...
That's the difference maker. If I'm not mistaken, Heavenly Grace should be able to also dispel the Shadow Poison of Quap on top of that, amongst a couple other things, so added value there.
Here's the kickback coming out again.